Welcome to Modern Day Debate, everybody. Happy Halloween. I'm your host, Ryan. We're going to get right to it. Harris or Trump? And we have PWF. Alex, the floor is all yours for up to 6 minutes for your side. So thank you so much for being here. The floor is yours.
Who would be better for the country is an absolute no-brainer. If
Welcome
you
to
pay
Modern Day
attention to
Debate, everybody.
policy and you
Happy
care about
Halloween. I'm your
policy,
host,
which I think a
Ryan.
lot
We're
of
going to
Trump
get right
supporters
to
don't,
it.
if I'm being
Harris
objective.
or Trump?
First, let's take
And
a
we
look
have
at Trump,
PWF.
and we're going
Alex, the
to
floor is
compare
all
him to
yours
Kamala.
for up
So
to
Trump has
6 minutes.
broken almost every single promise he ran on in 2015, 2016, right? It's promises he has made to his constituents, and sometimes doing the exact opposite of what he promised. And let's take a look at some examples for it. So one of the big reasons that I think a lot of independents came to Trump in 2016 is because he promised that he was going to prevent their jobs from being outsourced and he was going to bring back manufacturing jobs, right? Sounds nice, something that we all support. He promised he's going to prevent their outsourcing. But that's not what happened. What happened was that under his administration, before even COVID, America had outsourced 200,000 manufacturing jobs. Again, before COVID, before the whole disaster began. And this can be directly tied into Trump's 2017 tax plan, which created financial incentives for outsourcing, or at the very least removed disincentives for people not to outsource. And we can compare that directly to Biden, for example, who under his administration, we retrieved, or to say, 800,000 manufacturing jobs came back to America. So again, that's line number one is that he's going to bring back manufacturing jobs. He's going to keep the jobs from being outsourced. He did the exact opposite, right? So that's just all objective facts. Okay, let's look at line number two. He promised that he will allow health insurance companies to sell across state lines, which I thought was a great idea. When he said that in 2016, I was like, dude, yeah, absolutely. It's a no-brainer. And then he also said he was going to replace Obamacare with something better that protects pre-existing health conditions. And also times he said that he was going to give everyone health insurance, right? But I don't think anyone really believed that. In reality, the bill that he proposed that he couldn't even get passed did not protect pre-existing health conditions at all and would have kicked tens of millions of people off health insurance. That's why I have popularity rating of like 7%. No one supported this plan, not even most Republicans, because it was dog shit and would have kicked 10 million people off their health insurance. But most importantly, he directly lied about protecting pre-existing conditions. That was a lie. Okay, let's look at number three, the infrastructure bill. Trump promised that was repeatedly, but he didn't even try. He said that he's going to push through a big infrastructure bill that's going to rebuild America. He didn't even try to do that. It was Biden administration that finally pushed through the infrastructure bill. Here's the most obvious one, the wall. He said it was going to be paid by Mexico, which he said over and over again, which was a joke. Mexico never said they were going to pay for it. They explicitly said they weren't going to pay for it, and it was an obvious lie. In reality, only like 1% of the wall got built. So even though this is the thing that a lot of Trump supporters voted him on, he didn't deliver. So Trump, it seems like he has a pattern. The only exception is his tax cuts for the rich, is that he makes a bunch of promises, either doesn't deliver on them or actually does the exact opposite. And this is not even mentioning January 6th, which was the first time in history the president tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power and pressure his VP to cheat, right? Not even getting into that. Now let's take a look at Kamala on the other hand, her economic plan. So number one, she wants to give $50,000 tax credit to entrepreneurs. This will help start more small businesses. Good idea. Give a $25,000 tax credit for the first-time home buyers. Again, we need more people to have homes, right? It's good for the economy. It's good for everyone. And also on the supply side, she wants to build millions of new homes through private-public partnerships. That's good. We need more homes on the market, and we need more people to be able to afford homes. We don't want all the homes just to be bought up by investment bankers, which is what's happening now. Number four, she wants to give a $5,000 child tax credit to help people starting a family. She wants to lower healthcare costs by capping out-of-pocket medical expenses and capping the price of pharmaceuticals. Good idea. She wants to ban price gouging, right, which is already banned in 39 states, so it's not something new. She wants to legalize marijuana. Those are just 7 things that are all good ideas. But even if you want to be like, well, yeah, I just don't know how much that's going to help, we can defer to experts. Economists have looked at both their plans and found that Trump's plan would blow up the deficit by twice as much as Kamala's plan. So I believe Kamala's plan would blow up the deficit by about 3 trillion, and Trump's plan would blow up the deficit by about 6 trillion. So if you care about the national debt, then Trump is not your guy. 23 Nobel Prize winning economists called Harris's economic plan vastly superior to Trump's. But of course, Trump supporters don't even care about this at all. It's just vibes. Majority of Trump supporters can't even name a few of Trump's policy accomplishments during the 4 years and just resort to bot talking points. Kamala's a communist. Trump is going to eliminate the deep state. He's anti-war. not even knowing that Trump increased drone strikes by 400%, bombarded Syria twice, tried to coup in Venezuela, got tricked by Israel to kill a top Iranian general who was fighting ISIS, for which several U.S. soldiers have died. So mostly I touched on economic policy, but you can see that, again, to quickly reiterate this, is Trump promises a whole bunch of ridiculous shit that he never executes on, or very few of which he executes on. And quite often he does the opposite of what he promises. Again, everyone is in favor of protecting manufacturing jobs, keeping jobs from being outsourced. Trump didn't do that. Biden was the one that did that. In fact, before Trump, Obama, under the second term Obama administration, we had gained something like 400,000 manufacturing jobs. And then under Trump, we lost 200,000 manufacturing jobs. And under Biden, we got 800,000 back. So whatever you care about, whether it's economy, whether you care about, just reducing national debt, Trump is not your guy. So you have a choice. You can look at the actions that these politicians do, right? That Trump has had 4 years in office, so we can see kind of how he wants to govern. And then we also have 4 years of Biden. And I think Kamala's policies are going to be too different than Biden. And we can also see her policy proposals. So that's the most important thing. What are her proposals? What are Trump's policy proposals? And what do the experts think is going to be better? And pretty much every serious economist says that Kamala's plan is going to not raise the deficit as much and is actually going to stimulate the economy, unlike Trump's plan. I could get into how Trump's plan is also going to slightly increase taxes on the middle class, but none of that is necessary because we have just a very clear pattern here of a guy who just promises a bunch of shit. His global supporters believe it, and then they find hopes and reasons to justify why it didn't happen. Oh, but it wasn't Trump's fault this. It wasn't Trump's fault that. He did all he can. So, yeah, so I think that's a pretty clear-cut decision, and that's, I guess, where we can leave off.
Awesome. Well, you only had 20 seconds left on the timer there, so thank you so much, PWF, for your introductory statement. We're going to give 6 minutes over to you, Thomas, and you guys can...
Can you guys hear me? Just real quick, I know he has to open up, but you spelled my name wrong on the overlay.
What? No, yeah. Did I? Oh, I'm so sorry. That is
me. Alex, are you, do you live in America?
Yeah.
But are you from America?
I'm a U.S. citizen. I was born in Belarus, but I'm been a U.S. citizen for.
You do have your green card. You're not an illegal immigrant.
Dude, I'm a U.S. citizen. It's not a matter of a green card.
We're gonna get the 6 minutes over.
I just voted in the election.
I fixed your name up there.
I don't believe that.
I fixed your name,
Where's
Alex.
Your sticker? Where's your sticker?
All right.
Okay. Do you want to make a statement, or you just want to talk about?
I think he's trying to razz you up, but we got 6 minutes on the floor, Alex.
I just know Belarusian accent is some of it was challenging to understand. I don't even. That's
Listen, this is what we get from Trump supporters. This is the peak of their discourse.
All right.
Well, I don't know if it's your Belarusian accent or it looks like you might have been punched in the face a lot or something. I don't know. Is that why?
I'm already jumping to
two Alexes. All right.
No, I'm honestly asking.
All right, both Alexes. I'm so sorry. Just hold on. This is Thomas's time. He's got 6 minutes on the floor. You guys can get into it all you'd like, honestly. And I'm so sorry for hitting the wrong key there, Alex. Not my intention. So I'm going to hand it over there to Thomas. He's got 6 minutes. And then, Alex, you'll be following up right after that. So don't you worry, guys. We're going to be back with you. And I'm going to put in a poll in the live chat. You can vote Plague Mask or no Plague Mask because we're going to have to try to keep it light tonight, I can tell. All right, go ahead there, Thomas. You got 6 minutes.
Everything that you're going to hear tonight from any Republican, and I don't know these two guys, I've never met them, but I can tell you one thing for sure. Everything that they're going to say is going to be some sort of deflection, an outright lie, or deflection because they can't cope with the fact that Trump is the worst president voted by, I believe, the College of Historians, 27-0, as the worst president in American history. There are, of the three last chairmen of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who are all lifelong Republicans, all of them have said that Trump is a fascist. Are we to believe these men? And if we threw in Colin Powell with this, that would be 4 of the last chairmen of the Joint Chiefs of Staff who have said that Trump is unqualified to be in the Oval Office. And you're going to hear a lot of gobbledygook about, well, we support our military. Well, you don't support John Kelly, Jim Mattis, or Mark Milley. And a lot of the problem with this is that they love everything in theory, and they want to back the police. And isn't it curious that when they want to back the police, Trump wants to back the police so much that he wants to indemnify them from the law? Well, why in the world would any person, the president most of all, want to indemnify from the police from breaking the law? They can break the law freely. They can crack skulls open. They can do whatever they want. These are things that Trump has said out loud. And Republicans will always say, well, he didn't really mean that. You shouldn't think of, he was just joking about that. Well, how much is Kamala Harris joking about anything when she's proposing how to get our economy going? And one of the things that Republicans love to drone on about the most is immigration. We can't have any immigration. Well, the problem with that is that Republicans have never gone to college and been to an economics class, and they fail to understand what a 4% population growth is. And the problem is with having a 4% population growth, it's actually 2.8% right now, is that you can't sustain your workforce and resupply the people that are retiring. So we have an extreme need for immigrants to come in this country. And if you're not sure about this, just have a look at what's going on in Florida right now, where the Florida legislature with Ron DeSantis got them a big bill. And they said, any immigrant we caught, we're going to deport them right back to the country they come from. Well, what happened? Well, construction stopped completely. My best friend is a real estate agent, and her mother is a mortgage broker down there. And her husband used to run crews of men who would work on houses, build houses, and all that has stopped. And the Florida legislature said, well, we didn't really mean, you guys, that we were going to throw you all out, even though that's what's on the books. It is completely stopped. There's nobody to pick fruit. The agricultural economy in Florida right now, this year, by now, orange juice is going to be $6 to $9 a gallon. I live in Thailand, so that's not an issue here. But that is an issue in the United States, and getting people to build houses, we're going to need people to do that kind of work. And the problem with that is that Republicans keep flogging a dead horse. Well, we can't afford no immigration. As soon as they come in, the Democrats hand them out a check, which is a bunch of bullshit. And the last thing that Republicans will fail to do is they talk about, well, all this illegal voting. Republicans do not understand how voting works. Each ballot is assigned to a specific person. And they say, well, they was going into the Kinkos and copying 200,000 of them and running them off and then handing them into the drop boxes. And the problem with that is that the same number only gets counted once. They're specifically designed so that they cannot be forged. But this does not matter to a Republican mind because that involves understanding mathematics. And Republicans ain't got no use for no book learning stuff. So these are the kind of things that you're going to hear tonight. And always be aware that whenever the Republicans' lips are moving, they are lying. They are incapable of telling the truth. An honest Republican is as unthinkable as an honest burglar.
All right. Well, that's a
That's
hot
it.
take. Thank you for that, Thomas. We appreciate you being here at Modern Day Debate. And I will remind our audience that Modern Day Debate is a neutral platform hosting debates on science, politics, religion, you name it. And we hope you feel welcome here in our space. We are going to kick it over to the other side, but I do want to remind everybody before I hand it over to Alex that we do try to keep things friendly and civil, but I do feel we're going to get a little juicy tonight. I'm just making a rye prediction, a Halloween prediction here. So I'll remind our audience, though, we do questions at the end of every debate. So if you have questions for any of our speakers, get them into a super chat and they'll be asked with priority. Those are the super chats. So Alex Stein, you have 6 minutes on the floor. It's all yours.
I just want to say, I know this is a scary topic. You guys probably don't like hearing the word Trump because I can tell what's his name got so scared he moved to Thailand, and then this Alex guy, sitting there and I thought you were trolling. I'm not even kidding, Alex. You seem like a smart guy when you really honestly say that Kamala Harris is a better candidate for president than Donald Trump. It blows my mind because you seem like you are intellectually honest. And if you look at Donald Trump, just let's look at his career before he was a politician. He was a successful businessman. He was on a TV show that was on 14 seasons. At one point, it was the #1 rated show. He's had success in so many different fields. For him to go into politics, it really doesn't make his life better. I think you could argue that it actually is a step back for his quality of life by going into politics. And he's also a guy that, whether you like him or not, he's a real man. He's not one of these homosexual weird guys. Yeah, he sleeps with women. He's a man, just like God fearing, uh, horny man. And I don't hate that because you know what? I'm a horny man that I like to make love. So I can relate to that. Now, Kamala Harris, she likes to make love too. And that's why she slept with Willie Brown while he was married. And she, you guys know that she slept with him. And then she basically got the funding to run for attorney general. And then she became attorney general in the 3-strike rules. She incarcerated a lot of black men for life for getting 3 felony convictions, which ruined a ton of black people's lives, made a lot of children grow up in single family homes. So when you look at Donald Trump and you compare them, they're totally different. Are they both freaks in the sheets? Yeah, probably. Yeah, they probably are. And you know what? Is that a crime? I don't think so. I don't think they should go to jail for it as long as they're adults and they're not doing Epstein Island with Bill Clinton going on there 26 times and Hillary Clinton potentially maybe having a sexual relationship with Huma Abedin, who's now engaged to Alex Soros. So there's all kinds of weird wife swapping and occultic sexual role playing going on over there. But let's not even get into all that. We know that they're the sexual freaks. You got Bill Clinton getting a BJ in the Oval Office. So I'm just saying that's the party of.
On that fantastic point, do you mind speaking up a little bit, Alex?
Did you not hear me? I'll talk more into my mic. My point
Thanks,
is, sometimes my damn cats get on my freaking thing, my TriCaster, or not the TriCaster, the mixer. But my point is, listen, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have been doing a terrible job. The fact that inflation right now is the worst that it's ever been in my life. Now, I remember 2008. You guys are old enough to remember 2008. 5 million people got kicked out of their house. 5 million people, got these loans, and who bailed them out? The banks bailed them out. And I honestly believe that time was worse than now. But if you look at any economist, you're talking about economists, the economy is actually worse now than it was in 2008, which is unbelievable to me, which shows you that, the world that we live in is absolutely collapsing. And just the fact that the middle class is gone. I mean, nobody can afford to buy a single family home. And then you look at the vaccine schedule. I'm sure you guys are all vaccinated and boosted. And Donald Trump, his hand's not clean of the vaccine either. So my point is that we have fascism right now. We have a uniparty. The right and the left are, the same, in my opinion. They both work for the military industrial complex. And the reason why I like Donald Trump is because he's actually not from the political system that they are all from. He's the actual outsider. And I think that, he deserves some more respect. And if you guys consider yourself socially liberal or progressive, Donald Trump was progressive up until, I think he said on Joe Rogan's podcast, till like 1998. So it's not like Donald Trump is some alt-right guy because he doesn't want you guys to do drag queen story hour to little children. That doesn't make him a bad guy. That makes him a good guy. And when you look at how much they talk about reproductive rights on the left, and to me, and this is, you guys are going to have opposite opinions, but I think abortion is murder. I think that the baby, has body autonomy, and I think it's disgusting that you can just kill a newborn baby. But that's the main social issue that everybody is voting for Kamala Harris because she wants to kill babies. And Donald Trump doesn't even want to stop you from doing it because he wants to make it where the states decide. So, all these people that are on the left that want to kill their babies so bad and want to do abortion so bad, guess what? Under Donald Trump, you're still going to get to do it. You just might have to catch a Greyhound bus and, go one state over in order to get that abortion that you want so bad. So this is what is really going on in the world is they try to distract us. You guys know this. You guys know the right and the left are about the same. And after Donald Trump, we're screwed. We got nobody else that is actually going to, I guess, buck the system. And Donald Trump, like I said, he's not perfect. And nobody's perfect. In his presidency for 4 years, he was railroaded the whole entire time. They tried to impeach him. He had people that, said that they were going to have his back and then manipulated him and lied to him. And, being the most powerful person in the world, I bet it's probably a tough job. It's a lot different than managing a Starbucks or even coaching an NFL football team. It's probably one of the most challenging jobs in the world. And by doing it, you're going to make mistakes. And the fact that Kamala Harris in her debate, when they asked her if she made one mistake during her presidency, she couldn't even answer and say, "Oh, I've made one mistake with this, and I would have liked to done this better." So it shows you how dishonest she is, that she cannot even admit that. And the fact that Joe Biden is basically a walking corpse, he's not strong enough to actually campaign to be president in 2024, but yet he can continue to be our president. So why don't they enact the 25th Amendment and get him out of office if he's incompetent? So these people are all lying. And you guys are smart enough to realize that Joe Biden is just a puppet and he's being told what to do by his handlers. And that those same handlers, maybe Michelle Obama, Barack
10 seconds.
Obama, whoever runs the DNC party, those handlers are the ones that are really calling the shots. So if you guys want to elect a puppet, go for it. But I'm going to elect the guy, Donald Trump, who didn't start any wars and who cares about this country. Yes, he cares about himself, but he also cares about this country. And I don't think that can be the same. I don't think that can be said the same for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, who's a Chinese spy and dated some Chinese spy's daughter. And,
Oh, you got to fit a couple in there, right? This last second, if you want to throw a few more in. No, your time did expire. Thank you so much, Alex, for your introductory statement. Lots to chew on there. Thank you so much. It looks like the audience is going to vote in favor of the Black Mask. All right, hopefully this doesn't distract our speakers. Josh, you have up to 6 minutes on the floor as I get my hood up. And once again, we will do Q&A at the end. I'm going to ask our audience now, too, what they think about our debate tonight. And I'm going to close this poll. So, Josh, thanks for being here. 6 minutes is yours.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Can you guys hear me?
Sure can.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, I just want to go to the speaker before Alex. He made it quite clear that he needs migrants to pick his grapes and pick up the highway and make sure that there's good construction and homes for him and his buddies to buy. The condescension and superciliousness with which he describes migrants is very off-putting. I think it borders on xenophobia and racism. So I think that was just kind of a typical display of the soft bigotry of low expectations that the left tends to have when it comes to migrants. Migrants are only good if they can do things for him, like pick his grapes and get his road construction done. Also, his accent, when he's trying to pretend to be a redneck right-winger, sounds exactly like his own accent when he goes back to it. So it sounds like he's mocking himself. And I thought that was interesting. As for Republicans being, or anyone to the right of center being uneducated and unable to do math, I also find that curious. I have a law degree, a Juris Doctor. I also double majored in my undergrad in political science and sociology. So kind of that wide brush he's painting everyone with, again, it just comes off as kind of bigoted and, you're just assuming everyone's a monolith. And I just think that's intellectually shallow of you to do that. As we know, groceries, nobody can afford them. Interest rates, sky high, even though they're coming down. Mortgages, sky high. Look, if we want more of the same when it comes to the economy, by all means, vote for Kamala. You're going to get a lot more identity politics with her. Everything that Kamala and Joe talks about is divisive. It's balkanizing. It's meant to divide people and create and cause acrimony. They're constantly obsessed to the point of it being a fetish with people's sexual orientation, their gender identity, and our race. Combined with the media, it's this echo chamber, and that's all you hear every day, day in and day out from the left is someone's race or sexual orientation, all these different groups. That's not what America's about. America is about unity. America is about one country. It's about a group of people who personify values like free speech, liberty, things like that. We should not be boiled down and reduced to something as base and vulgar as our sexual orientation or our skin color. And I think a lot of people are getting sick of that. I think there's a silent majority in this country that is sick of these identity politics that Biden and Kamala have been playing. And if you want to get more division, more acrimony, then by all means, vote for her and vote for that system, that ossified system that Alex just described, where you have an empty suit in power as a figurehead, and then you have everything going on behind the scenes that can operate as business as usual because you have a weak leader in Kamala Harris. You're not going to get that with Donald Trump. You're going to get a strong leader that defies that system, a strong leader that does what's right for America, whether special interests like it or not, and someone who's going to buck that system. With Kamala Harris, you're just getting another empty suit. And you can try all you want to divorce her from Joe Biden, but the fact of the matter is that just a couple months ago, she was his running mate, and willingly his running mate, which means she tacitly endorsed and countenanced all of his policies that he had enacted up until then and all of the policies that he was going to continue to enact. So don't try to act like she's a clean slate and like she's someone different. She is tied to Joe Biden, and his policies are her policies. Now, all of the problems facing the country right now are of her making. So for people to think that these problems are magically going to be ameliorated or eliminated come January, it's ridiculous. She has done nothing to eliminate the problems up until now. So why in a few months would she be able to get rid of the same problems that she's responsible for creating with Joe Biden? It defies logic. If we are going to fix problems that have been created over the last 4 years, we need someone else in power. I just think this comes down to values. I think this comes down to the ideals that you think America represents. And Alex touched on those. If you think what America represents is men wearing costume and claiming they're women and reading to 4- and 5-year-olds about drag and about changing genders, and if that's the kind of place that you want your kids in, then go with Kamala Harris. She's very proud of the fact that she's using taxpayer money to give sex change operations to biological males that are convicted of violent crimes. She's also endorsing and has endorsed allowing them to be housed in female prisons with females who are mostly there for nonviolent crimes. This is just one example of the kind of values that Democrats stand for. It's a lot of virtue signaling. It's a lot of, look at me, look how great I am because I'm looking compassionate. And all the while, they're hurting the very people they claim to care about. They are hurting women when they allow biological males to come into their spaces. They are hurting minority people when they're allowing migrants to pour across the border by the millions and take jobs away from them. She is harming Black communities in inner cities who are having their funding stripped away to go to the migrant crisis. So if the ideals that you want America to stand for is that, then you can vote for Kamala Harris. If you think America should stand for something more, if you think it should stand for unity and freedom and liberty and free speech, I would encourage you to vote for Donald Trump.
All right, we are at time. Thank you so much to all of our speakers and Josh for his last introduction there. And yeah, we're going to hit it into an open discussion. So I'm going to set the timer there. Big reminder to our audience that all of these debates that we are having right now, if you're listening to them on podcast form, they are updated and uploaded, I should say, to our podcast form within 24 hours. But if you are listening on podcast and you're wondering how you can catch these live, you do have to subscribe to the Modern Day Debate YouTube channel. That's the only way you can be here to get the live notifications. Make sure you hit the bell and also be able to ask questions to your speaker that you hear on the panel. So over to the other side, PWF, and Thomas, I'll let you open it up, and feel free to jump in here, Josh and Alex, Stein, as you feel. So let's get it. You're still on mute, Alex, so sorry. You guys were getting excited there for a second, so I had to make a preemptive start.
I am excited.
Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, I actually took pretty detailed notes when both of you guys spoke, so I want to go through some of the BS I heard. Okay, so let's start with Stein. You gave a pretty, I guess, interesting speech, but you did not address a single policy point I brought up. We heard a lot about Trump sleeping with girls, which I'm sure is true, and him having a successful TV show. In fact, you talked about sex a lot. And this just reinforces my point about it being all vibes. I don't give a shit whether the president of the United States fucks a bunch of girls or does not fuck a bunch of girls, because that's not what they're here for. Also reinforces my point that you guys will make every possible excuse for Trump. Now, so something specific that you said is that the economy is worse now. So according to what metrics do you feel like the economy is worse now? Because unemployment is at an all-time low. So I'm just curious what
Nobody can afford their
Yeah,
groceries.
I mean, literally everybody's
Nobody
in
can
debt.
afford
Are
their
you kidding?
groceries.
So
I mean,
inflation is the metric we're trying to get at, right?
yeah, I would say inflation is the worst it's ever been. Yes.
Okay, what do you think the inflation rate is right now at this point in time?
Listen, I'm not here to do some sort of inflation test. I'm just here to talk
Well,
about
you,
what's
you
going
said,
on.
you said
So
it's the
just
worst
admit you
issue.
don't know anything.
You said it's the worst issue.
I do know this because I go to the grocery store and I buy stuff. I go and I employ people and I have to pay taxes, so I know what
So
I
what do you think the
experience, and that's
inflation
what I'm
rate is
speaking
right
from.
now?
All right, go ahead.
Just
Compared
because
to
the rate
2008, I'm doing worse financially. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, but
That's
we're
the
not
metric
talking
I'm
about
using.
you. We're talking about in general. Should you
just because the rate has come down, just like with the price of gas, month to month over the last few months, although it has come down and may be lower, they have been in office for 4 years. And during those 4 years, it was astronomical and at all-time highs. So don't take a small little window and then twist that. That's misrepresenting the fact.
Well, you're right, because after COVID, every single first world country had inflation. America had the lowest inflation out of every single Western country. Just with the massive supply shortages that we had under the pandemic, there was no way to avoid inflation. But right now, inflation is 2.1%. It's been brought down low. And you don't want inflation to be 1 or 0 because that obviously creates issues with the economy. So inflation is exactly where it should be. I will agree that at some points in 2021, 2022, inflation was like over 10%. But every single other advanced country got hit with worse inflation. And now it's been brought down. And that's thanks to Biden's policies. So the whole idea that inflation is the big issue right now is, at least that has been addressed. So what are some other, I guess, economic indicators that you would say that where the economy's doing worse?
I would say 20 million illegal criminals who broke the law by nature of them, by definition of
What does
them,
that have to do with
here
it?
illegally is a drain on our system, and they are taking resources.
What metric is that?
And that takes jobs away from American citizens. It's terrible. And then you have
And
people
why
like
is
Lincoln
unemployment
Riley
at an
getting
all-time
murdered.
low?
All right,
Yeah,
one
right.
second. One second here. Everybody's talking
Well,
all at once, and I know
Yeah,
Thomas
I
is
can't
trying to jump
understand.
in.
I can't. It's hard to understand.
Go
his
ahead.
accent.
Go ahead there, Alex, and then we'll let Thomas jump.
Yeah, why is unemployment so low if all these illegal immigrants are taking
Unemployment was very low under Trump until COVID hit, and then there were mandatory lockdowns. So the numbers are skewed, and you can't take that because during his presidency, there was a lot of
Not
unemployment.
even talking about
And
that.
a lot of people have 2 or 3 jobs. That's why I believe it's a lot higher because multiple people aren't just doing one stream of
Right.
income, so they have multiple jobs.
All right, let's
And
let
they're doing
Thomas in,
that-
guys. We're letting Thomas in.
So,
Sorry.
Because the economy is so bad, you have to have 3 jobs. That's why the
If all these immigrants are coming in and taking all these jobs, wouldn't unemployment rate be higher? Like, why are all these native-born Americans still able to find jobs? Maybe they're working multiple jobs.
Well, it's
Like,
because
I'm
there's so
not-
many
But
gig
they
economy
still have
jobs
jobs.
that anybody can do temporarily, like Uber Eats or deliver, so people can get a job and they can consider themselves not eligible for unemployment.
so you
but
would
they
say
don't
it's
have a normal job. They don't have a regular job, but they still don't qualify for unemployment. So
Okay,
you
let
give
me-
me these
let me-
fuddy-duddy numbers, but dude, I'm talking about my real world experiences. And
No
I
one
mean,
cares
you
about your real world experience because that's anecdotal. My real world experience could be totally different. We look at
I know. Well, I'm just
we look at facts.
well then
The
I'm,
whole
I'm
argument is
Dr.
based on,
Anecdote.
well,
I
I
mean, that's
know
what
this.
I'm
All
going
right,
to
we're
debate with
officially in the
anecdotes,
circle
yeah.
there, guys. Thomas, jump on in here with what you were thinking about there, because I want to give you the floor.
Alex, you seem very professional about your knowledge of Kamala's affair with Willie Brown. Do you know exactly when that took place?
I believe it's in 1998, I believe.
It was it? Mm-hmm. And was Willie married at the time?
Yeah, I believe he was maybe
Yeah,
separated. with
you
his
need to go
divorce.
ahead and go Google
I
that.
am right now.
Make sure
I
you
am,
go,
but he was
yeah.
separated, but I don't think the papers were signed on the divorce.
So he was separated.
But
So
they
you
weren't
make it
legally
sound like he
divorced
was
from the
in the
story that I
holy
heard.
matrimony.
Well, you don't
and you
understand what a
lied
marriage
about it.
contract is. When you're
You
separated, you
lied,
can still be
right?
married.
So you
bud.
lied.
You're so, I
You
didn't
All
lie.
right, 1 second there,
I
guys.
didn't
Yeah,
Let's
you
let,
did
let's let,
because
Being
they were-
separated and legally
All right,
divorced
let's
are
let
2
Alex
different
respond.
things.
how long were they separated?
What do I look like, the Encyclopedia Britannica? I just know that they weren't legally divorced when she had a relationship with him.
Well,
so
pleased
I am
to meet you. I
technically right.
am Encyclopedia Britannica. They were
No, you're
separated
not.
for
No, you're
10
not.
years. Oh, yes, I
Yeah,
can.
but they
And
weren't
there's not.
divorced. They weren't divorced. So do you not understand that legally?
So
Okay,
you
real
mean to
quick,
tell
let
me
just
that
answer
people
this
can only
question.
have
All right,
a
we're-
sexual
all right, just one-
relationship outside the wedlock, outside the bounds of
1 second,
wedlock?
Thomas.
Is that what
We'll
you're
let
saying?
Alex.
have it.
Hold
Let's
on.
just have a
We're
normal
gonna let Alex ask
conversation.
his question.
Is being separated and legally divorced, is that the same thing?
No.
Boom.
I just want to talk about policy.
That's all you got to do. So he was technically married. According to the law, he was separated. They did not live together, but according to the law, they were still under a marriage certificate, a contract. So whether you want to say he was not cheating or not, he's married. He can't even. He's not even getting the divorce before he's smashing Kamala Harris. And you just
are there reasons why people get separated?
You admit that they date. So do you think it's good that she's a qualified candidate? Do you think that she's actually qualified for it, or is it because she's good at
No,
bed?
I don't believe in trying to slut shame a presidential candidate with a bunch of bullshit that you just pull out of your ass.
I don't want a woman taking a man's job because she's able to give him fellatio or some sort of.
Well, you don't want a woman doing anything, especially having any kind of control over her body, because you want to tell her by your stupid or idiotic religious beliefs
the baby
that
has
she
a body
can't control.
too. Hey, Houston,
do you understand that there is a difference between?
We need one person at a time. So sorry.
I have a question.
And I got a $250 super chat from Red Draken. Keep up the great work, brother. This is my first donation to a content creator ever. Don't tell anyone. God bless. $250.
Does the real Ryan need to pop out and like break out dad voice or something? No, I'm just joking, guys.
Do you understand the difference between a baby and a fetus?
Okay. Now, let's not get into the abortion thing. This is besides the point.
There are a lot of things we can get into.
Do you like abortion, Alex?
Do I like abortion? No one likes abortion. I know you guys want to deflect to this, but can we talk about?
I'm just saying, are you pro-abortion or are you anti-abortion?
What does that mean, pro-abortion? No one's pro. You mean pro-choice? Is that the word you were looking for?
You don't think that you can use pro-abortion to describe somebody wanting to be pro-choice? You don't think that
no, pro-abortion would mean that you actually want people
to argue semantics, because by saying pro-abortion would mean you're pro-choice, unless you're stupid.
All I know is that you're trying really, really hard to get out about the economy.
Somebody's pro-abortion would be pro-choice. You can't say that.
You're trying really, really hard to get off the policy side.
No, but it's just funny because you argue semantics. Like when I say that you're pro-abortion, you know that means that you're pro-choice. But then you try to correct me and say, "Oh, you mean pro-choice?" No, I mean pro-abortion, Mr. Belarus, Mr. Broken Jaw Belarus. That's what I mean. I mean, are you pro-abortion? Do you like abortion?
I think we've already established that you guys aren't going to agree on
abortion, Alex. Let's get back to the economy. I know you want to deflect.
No, let's not get back to the economy. Let's not get back.
All right. Hold on. Both Alexes. You guys are on mute again. I'm so sorry. Josh really wanted to push us into some new territory. I think, the audience has gotten your 2 cents on those two topics.
I'd like to answer the question. Alex, are you pro-abortion? Are you pro-choice? If that's easier for you to answer.
Oh, Alex,
you're muted. You're muted.
I think he clarified that he does not.
He's muted. He doesn't even know how to unmute himself. He's just.
You're still muted, Alex? You're still muted.
He doesn't know how to unmute.
So, no, I'm not pro-abortion because I personally, if I got my girlfriend pregnant, would not get an abortion. But I am pro-choice. I think people should have the right to make their own decisions up to a certain point.
All right, I'm doing what I can. Josh, come on in. Just
so you're a
bash
it.
Guys, just 1 second. Josh, come on in. You had a point earlier. Let's throw it into some new territory because, we are discussing on Modern Day Debate Harris or Trump. We're only a few days away from the election. I think our audience knows where Alex and Alex, the two Alexes, disagree on the topic of abortion. But, Josh, I do want to let you in here. So unless you want to talk about abortion too, I mean, help us out.
Well, I just wanted to say our two interlocutors there mentioned women having a voice and women, should be respected and that women should be able to do what they want. And so I was just curious if that's what they feel, is that women should always be the ones to decide what happens with their bodies. Is that correct?
You want to get back to abortion?
No, I'm just asking you, should women's voices and opinions be respected?
They should be respected.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that all be all. Doesn't mean if a mom is about to give birth and she says, actually, I want to throw this baby out the toilet.
I just have simple questions.
But of course, their voices should be respected.
Okay. Should
be respected.
All right, let's let Josh go through his line of questioning.
Should we pay deference to their consent, to women's consent when it comes to things? Should we listen to it?
Should we listen to a woman consent?
Yeah, is her consent important and matters? Does it matter if she doesn't consent to something?
Yeah, I think it's important if a woman consents to sex or she doesn't consent to sex.
I didn't say sex. Does a woman have agency?
Woman does have agency, yeah.
Okay, So why are you voting for somebody that's going to allow biological males to invade their spaces against their consent and erase them from sports, erase their scholarships, and erase their trophies? Why would you vote for someone that's going to allow biological males to do that and give them carte blanche to do that? Shame on you for voting for someone like that. Shame on you.
Virtue signal. But at the end of the day, I don't think
Shame on you.
I don't think about trans stuff nearly as much as right wingers do. You guys seem to be obsessed with it.
It's important. They're in
Yeah, do you think it's cool for biological males to compete against biological females?
Pushed through that had anything to do with trans rights? Just what is
Kamala is bragging about it constantly.
What did Biden do under his 4 years that was anything even remotely pro-trans?
Do you know who John?
No, Mavetti had trans.
Just answer my question. What did Biden do that was pro-trans?
We're not talking about Biden.
People on the White House lawn. Did you see that? There's a transgender whip their tits out on the White House lawn. You didn't see that?
About that.
You know, all his half of the influencers there are trans.
Do you know?
The White House.
Wait, real quick, Josh.
So let's answer the question.
All right, guys.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Did not do anything that was pro-trans, right?
Alex, do you know the picture I'm talking about?
I don't care about random trannies sticking their tits out. It seems to be something only.
Yeah, he invited us, and they're not random. It'd be random if somebody outside did it, but they're
what policies did Biden enact if he's so pro-trans?
I'm not talking about
eliminated
Biden.
transgenders in women's sports.
Do you think that Kamala will be radically different than Biden?
I'm talking about things Kamala. Listen, Kamala has bragged on camera in interviews that are now airing in commercials about how, as Attorney General in California, she paved the way for biological men to get gender transition surgeries in prison funded by taxpayers. There's a man named John Jacobson Jr.
What policy has Kamala proposed?
She bragged about it in
California. I don't care about what she bragged about 10 years ago. What policy has she proposed that's pro-trans? Just name me one. One policy.
Every policy is pro-trans.
Inmates to get gender transition surgeries in California. It's what John Jacobson Jr. is using, a man who murdered 3 people in cold blood, and now he's getting gender transition surgery thanks to Kamala's.
Yeah, Trump also pardoned the guy who killed the cop, who then wound up strangling his girlfriend. So that's not really a good angle.
All right, I think
Thomas
is holding his tongue for all he's worth right now.
It seems to be all just vibes. It's all just vibes. Like, oh, he said this, she said this. What policy is Kamala proposing that's going to be pro-trans in any way?
Every policy is pro-trans.
Maybe one policy.
Every policy.
Just one.
Well, I can't even think of anything that's
besides
limit oil and gas, because she's a vice president. So what has she even done? I know she's supposed to be in charge of the border. She hadn't stopped that.
What policy she's proposing now that's pro-trans? What policy is she proposing now?
Well, it's not. It's the fact that they don't have a policy in. They need to put one in. So she's just letting it happen.
There's many policies. I named her policies.
Buddy, she is on video bragging.
I don't care what happened 15 years ago. What policy is she proposing now?
Bragging
she's
that
not proposing policies to stop it is the problem.
Yeah, Trump was bragging about grabbing girls by the pussy. Why would we care about some random thing someone was bragging about? We care about their actions.
She is on video saying she will do whatever she has to do to make sure that all male inmates can get the transition surgery they need. She said she will do that. That is with an eye towards the future. So
why has she not proposed a single policy to allow that to happen?
She's vice president. What is wrong with you?
She's running for president.
All right, guys, panel, just 1 second.
Because she's not president, she can't propose.
Hold on 1 second, Alex. Let's let Thomas in. He's been the quietest on the panel, so when he's got a thought, I think it's only fair. So go ahead, Thomas.
So she's been in office for 4 years. What does the vice president get to sign into legislation there, Josh? And just so you know, this is what all the people in the chat are thinking. You seem to be critically focused on this trans issue. Maybe you should look up the psychological definition of the word projection.
Buddy, when they are trying to teach 4-year-olds about drag queens, they're having drag story hour in our children's
What policy did Biden or
Have you ever been to one? Have you been to one? Have you ever been to one? Have you been to one? Have you ever been to a drag reading story thing? Have you ever been to one?
I'm not for. So no, I haven't.
Okay, you're not for it. Were you against Milton Berle doing it and Bob Hope when they were doing it? Were you throwing this much of a hissy fit when you were watching
Dude,
this
it's
shit as
totally
kid?
different.
I'm not
You know
90.
it's totally
I didn't
different.
watch Bob Hope dressed in drag.
It's totally different. They were men dressed up like women.
I'm not
So how's
90.
that
I didn't
completely
watch it.
different?
Well, how about when Trump said he's going to allow trans women into his whatever the fuck it is, the beauty?
I'm not anti-trans. I'm just anti-trans to children. I don't care if somebody's
Oh
trans.
no, we all know that you're not
We don't agree on that.
anti-trans because
Holy
we've seen
crap.
what happens to Grindr during the GOP convention, don't we, fellas?
Josh.
Wait, Thomas, are you an actual homosexual? You're trying to say
were you against? Were you
Thomas,
against?
are you an
Trump?
actual
All right,
homosexual?
we're all
Thomas?
talking. All right, one Alex
Well,
at a
Thomas
time.
keeps calling everybody gay. You are an
Just
actual
focus on
homosexual,
policy.
right, Thomas?
So,
All right,
Josh, were you
I
against
agree. Let's go.
when Trump allowed trans women to compete in his beauty pageant? Was that something you were against?
What?
Were you against when Trump allowed trans women to compete in his beauty pageant?
Nobody cares about competing in a beauty pageant. We're talking about Kamala Harris on camera saying
Wait, I thought you said you
do
cared about
whatever
female
she
sports.
has to do to make sure they get
Wait, I thought you said you cared
taxpayer-funded
about
trans
female sports. Your
You just
initial,
try to talk over people. It doesn't
your
work.
initial virtue signal was that I care about.
You just keep trying to talk over people. It's not going to work. Sorry, buddy. You tried the wrong
trying
one.
to change the
Just
topic.
keep talking. It doesn't work. You can't answer a single
We
question.
should let each other
What
talk
question
more.
have I
All right,
not
yeah,
answered?
this has been not that this hasn't been fun. I mean, there's
It
a
has
lot of
been fun,
voices
but it's not been very
chomping.
productive.
Yeah, there's a lot of voices chomping at the bit, and I get it. You know, it's like I say, we got a few days away, and you know, I do see Thomas once again. He's over there. He's got some things that he's obviously thinking, and I feel like I say if we can get him in here, that would be great. So Thomas, if you do want to try to push us into some new territory, we've covered the topics around trans. We've covered some
I've got
economic
just the thing.
issues. So yeah, go for it. Thank you.
Well, I don't think
So
we're go ahead.
So Josh, you're an attorney, right?
No, I'm not.
You believe in that?
I'm not an attorney. I don't know where you got
Oh.
that. Do your
You
research.
said you said you had a Juris Doctorate.
I
did you
do have a
not?
Juris Doctor. I do. That is
So you went
correct.
to law school
I said that. Correct.
and didn't pass the bar exam. Is that correct?
I did not sit for the bar. No, I did not.
Okay. So would you tell me, is it more expensive or less expensive to execute a human being?
It's more expensive if someone sits on death row because they have to exhaust all their appeals, buddy.
Excellent. I'm glad you understand that. Now, is it more expensive or less expensive to deny a trans person the transitional surgery that they want to have while they're
What do you mean,
incarcerated?
more expensive or less expensive? What
Well,
rubric?
they have the right to appeal, don't they? Do they not?
What?
And appeals cost money, do they not? The same as it does
Are you
for
talking
death
about
penalty.
a trans inmate? You need to set this hypothetical up.
Yeah, you keep talking about trans inmates and Kamala Harris wanting to make
the
it
one who brags
available for
about it.
all the inmates, but you're not
The one
thinking
bragging
about
about
the
She's the one
Nobody's
bragging about it.
You're not talking about the cost of this shit. Nobody ever thinks about, oh well, we're gonna go be tough on prisoners and shit. And meanwhile, you go spend $100 million on a single case, and then when it would have been a lot cheaper to just give them the surgery. That's the problem that you don't recognize in your primitive troglodyte brain. And I'm glad you can Yes, I'm glad you can understand polysyllabic words.
Thomas,
I don't care about the cost. I care about keeping women safe, especially when they're locked in a cell with a biological man, you moron.
Well, what about all the women who are going to be safe when there's trans women competing in the Miss Universe? What about those women? They're going to be in the same locker room as that.
They're locked in a locker room for 40 years with a biological male. Are you remedial?
Wait, so
Are you remedial?
Can you answer a question?
Are you remedial?
Well, I mean, a beauty
let's-
contest is a lot
so
different than a
clear,
physical
but
sport.
All right, we're going to let Alex, we're going to let PWF. Hold on, PWF is going to restate his question. We'll let Josh answer it here. So go ahead.
I'd like to get a clear answer to this question without deflection or talking more about tranny shit. So the question is very simple. You made it abundantly clear that you care about the integrity of female sports, right? Correct so far?
I care about women's spaces and women's consent.
So then you must condemn Trump for opening up the U.S. World Pageant to trannies, where now those trans women are going to be in the same space as biological women. So you must condemn that, right?
He's not doing it with taxpayer money, you moron.
Oh, so now the qualification is taxpayer money. So
we're talking about the presidency.
If it happens
we're talking
without
about the
taxpayer money.
presidency.
We're
talking about the presidency. We're talking about the presidency.
One second, Josh.
We're talking about
Josh,
the presidency.
just let's let Alex explain here too. But we do
so
get
it
that.
only matters if taxpayer money is the thing that's being used.
We're talking about the presidency.
Wait, hang on, stop spurting.
We're talking about the presidency.
All right, 1 second, Josh. I don't want to put you on mute.
I'm just doing the same thing he did. I have to reciprocate it.
No, I actually answered your questions. That's the big difference.
No, you didn't. You tried to talk
over me. Before we get distracted by the meta, let's get back to it, Alex. Before we go down another path.
Yeah, I just want to. So it seems like now the difference you're making is that, well, it only matters if there's taxpayer money involved. So if, for example, women are not being kept safe, then it doesn't matter unless it's with taxpayer money. Is that your position?
If they're locked in a cell with someone and they committed a nonviolent crime and they're stuck there with a biological male that murdered 3 people like John Jacobson Jr. and he's getting it paid for by Kamala Harris's policies, I have a problem with it because we're talking about Kamala Harris. We're not talking about a fashion show or Miss America.
So it doesn't matter when Trump does it. It matters when Kamala does it.
I would still disagree with it on principle, but
so why don't you just say you're against what
it's
Trump...
not as egregious. It's just not as egregious.
Okay, let's just say it's less egregious. Okay, so you are against what Trump did with the Miss Universe competition, right?
I would tend to disagree with it on principle, but it's not as egregious to what
it's a weak condemnation, but okay, at least we can get you to be someone.
He's not advocating that that's what he's going to do.
It's a weak condemnation. That's fine. Let's move on.
So the next thing is we're talking about. I want to go back to the economy because I think that's probably the most important thing right now. So this is a question for Stein, since you're the one that said this. Why do you think the American economy has recovered faster than any other first world economy, and why is it doing better right now than every other first world economy, in your opinion?
I don't believe that's the case.
These are all statistics that can easily be checked.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why. Are you ready for this, Mr. Smarty Pants?
Yeah, if you answer the question.
America's biggest industry, not the oil and gas industry like it should be, because they, stopped the Keystone Pipeline and they've made it very hard to get permits to even drill for oil and gas. And we could sell that oil and gas and, make a lot of money. But this is the issue: is our economy is doing okay right now because if you guys are really smart, I don't know how smart you guys are, America has a thing called the military-industrial complex. The main thing that we produce in this country are planes and killing machines that we sell to other countries and that we use to defend this country. And when you look at our military defense budget, it's through the roof. It's all unchecked. They can say the economy is doing well because once we give the Ukraine $30 billion, $300 billion, what they do with that money is they cut us a check, they send it back to us, and then we give them old military equipment. So on paper, our economy is doing great because we're in 2 world wars and we're selling guns to both sides. Now, I don't know how intellectually honest you are, but we're selling bombs to Israel. We're giving weapons to Palestine. We're building docks to give supplies to Palestine.
We are not giving weapons to Palestine, you liar.
We're building docks to give them food. Is that correct?
No, there is no dock. There's no dock being built. It was destroyed.
All right, hold on. Everybody's talking about.
Make a dock. Did the United States military make a dock in Palestine? Yes or no?
Is that dock?
The IDF blew it up.
Hold on. Alex and Thomas can't answer at the same time. Let's let Thomas in.
You're bald, you're stupid, you're gay, you're so annoying to debate because you know they built.
Let it out. Let it out, Spurt. Let it out.
And you sit there and you lie because you're fat, you're stupid, and you're retarded, and you're not worth my time. Because when I come to debate and you know that they built a dock, you know it, but you're still trying to say, oh, we didn't build a dock. You're a fat, dumbass, bald loser, and you really are
typical Trump supporter level of intelligence right there. I'll quickly answer.
Hold on. I was going to say, Alex, not that wasn't, breaking YouTube entirely. I don't know if it did or not, but are you doing all right? Everything okay?
I'm fine. Okay. I don't think it's terms of service to call somebody a fat, bald idiot.
No, I just mean a spicy one, We might just make a short out of that and break the internet.
Thomas doesn't seem like a bad guy, but he knows that he built a dock. He knows America built that dock.
It was never used once, not one
Thomas,
Everyone
did
Oh,
America
no,
build
what's
a
happening
dock? Did
again?
we spend
Everyone
military
knows America
equipment?
built a dock in Spur.
Has
The only
Space
reason
Force
I'm
killed
out-
any
This
aliens?
This is why I'm
Weapons.
spurging out, because you guys can't even admit that they built a dock, and you know that he built a dock.
Has Space
You know
All right.
Force
we built
killed
it.
any
All
All right, we're
aliens
gonna give
yet?
Thomas the floor. Thomas, you
It's
got
just
the floor.
annoying. I mean, you know
Has
they built a
Space
dock.
Force killed any aliens?
You
Has
guys are
Space
too
Force
retarded.
killed
Both of
any
you guys are
aliens?
so dumb. I mean,
right.
it's not even worth my time being
I'll
here.
tell you
All
what,
right, all
I'll
right,
put
all
up
right, all right, hold on.
$10,000 right now, and you and I can go over to Mensa's website and take the IQ challenge, and I'll give you 50 fucking
Okay,
points
all right.
and
You
see
don't
who
have
wins, you
$10,000 in your
dumbass.
bank account in
Well,
Thailand,
let's
living
just
for
answer-
$5 a month. There's a reason you're in Thailand, because you can't afford to live here, Thomas.
All right, all right,
Okay.
all right. We're all
Let's
on
answer
mute.
Stein's
Alex,
question. Everyone-
please. Alex, you're gonna wheel us in. I'm counting on you, buddy. PWF. Thank you so much.
I just want to answer his question, but okay, we can move on.
Well, no, I can talk about why the economy is good, because we're funding both sides. We're spending military equipment and funds on both sides. We're giving some to Palestine, believe it or not, by building a dock and trying to give them supplies. That is taking military equipment that we can charge our own selves. So it looks like our economy is doing well because, yeah, we're using contractors. And when the military is doing well, our economy on paper looks like it's doing well, but it's false. That's not what's going on. Car dealerships are doing terrible. Barber shops are going out of business. Mom and pop restaurants are failing. TGI Fridays just closed 50 restaurants. Olive Garden, I believe, closed 100 restaurants. Chili's, so all the main chain restaurants in America, and let me just finish, that these popular chain restaurants are all closing. Malls in America, if you guys have ever been in America, the culture of going to malls is dying because everything's going online. So small businesses are dying right now, and they're getting killed by Amazon. They're getting killed by the online shopping. So our economy is not doing well. There's not as many businesses, but on paper it looks well because we have the military industrial complex pumping all of it up, looking like we have a bunch of money. When it's
Okay,
all
let me quickly
fucking
dispute that.
BS.
Why are real wages now higher than inflation? Why are real wages higher than they've ever been?
Because they're probably all the military contracts and the military.
No,
spending,
real
and they
wages
pay them more
looks
than
at
average.
all real wages looks at all the jobs and they compare them to the rate of inflation. They look at, hey, in the last year, this person made 5% more money. Inflation was whatever percent, right? Is it higher or lower? So this looks at every type of job. Does not focus on military jobs.
Oh, I don't
So
even
you're-
believe that stat.
so you're
I don't-
saying
I
real
don't- I don't believe the
wages-
stat that whatever stat you're going to give me, I think it's fake.
Where
Like,
was it
I
for
don't
the
know who makes
previous?
these
Don't
stats.
you know
You
what the
just
stat
know-
is, and you already think it's fake.
Yeah, because they can lie in stats. Bill Gates
I know,
Bill Gates
but
says how to lie
comfortable
with
with
numbers.
statistics are like a
But see, this is the
kryptonite.
thing: is you
Okay,
probably
hold on one
trust the
second,
media.
Alex.
You probably
PWF,
trust
just
these
one second.
schools. I don't trust them. I don't have a trust for these institutions.
I would
You
trust.
do.
I would trust a study, or I would. I
Oh,
would.
you would,
trust
so
that.
all studies are right
I
at
would-
colleges.
no,
All
I wouldn't
college
say that,
studies are right.
But I would
Yeah.
generally trust a study over your
Yeah.
personal anecdotal experience. Okay, just if you
Okay,
can.
see, that's the
we can
difference
move
between
on.
you and me is I trust my own experience, and I don't just trust some study that they can cook the book.
So
I mean,
your perception, the American economy is doing worse than ever, just based on your personal experiences, right? Correct.
yes. The
Okay,
price of a
there-
house. The price
there
of
we
a house
go.
is the most expensive it's ever been.
Yes. So it's
That's
all
a lie.
personal experiences.
What do you
Okay.
mean? When have houses been more expensive than they are now?
So yeah, if you guys want to listen to someone's personal experiences, then I guess you can assume the economy is worse than ever. If I want to actually look at facts and statistics and what economists say, then it's the economy is doing pretty good. There are some areas that are not that good, but overall the economy has recovered faster in America than it has in any other first world country post-pandemic. That's just a
No, I
fact.
don't believe that. I don't.
Well, of course you don't, because you prefer to listen to whatever the fuck the voices in your head tell you.
Gas in Louisville, Kentucky right now is $1.63. It's the lowest
It's
it's
triple
been
the price
in
when
5 years.
I
triple the
just paid
price when
$3.20,
Trump left.
so-
It's triple the price when Trump left, guys.
Yeah, I just paid
$3.20 in
$3.20.
Kentucky. In
I just
Kentucky,
paid $3.20. I don't live in
And get-
Kentucky.
Gas is
but
way
still
higher
very
than
Okay.
it was when Trump.
Chicago.
Gas is way higher now than it was when Trump left. Let's not
All right.
even get into it.
Let's have a
All
Josh
right, let's go into
comment.
Q&A.
Well,
Let's go into Q&A. I don't even want to be here any
Oh,
longer.
don't,
These guys
don't
are
run away. Don't run away.
that's a no shit
No, I
Sherlock
just got something
answer
better
because
to do. You guys
Okay.
are both retarded and vaccine
You
injured. I
gotta-
can't
gotta
waste
go
my time.
harass
doing
Well,
Destiny.
we
this.
do
That
have
would
a
have
partner.
benefited you?
Just to be fair, we
it's
do have a
called being scientifically literate.
Oh,
I
yeah, you
went
guys
to
are real
college and I
scientifically
learned stuff
literate.
about
Give me
something.
a break. You guys are real
All
scientists
All right,
over
y'all
there.
gotta
Give
listen
me
or
a
else
break.
you get put on the mute. That's the way it works. I do want to be fair. You do have a partner here, Josh. We have about 20 minutes left of what we had in the open discussion, so we can move into Q&A a little bit sooner. That's no problem. But I do want to try to explore a few other topics that were.
I have so many topics I want to get through. I'm down to talk about this for however long it takes.
Well,
we haven't covered.
Yeah, because you don't have a life. You don't have anything else to do. I have a life. I can't sit
Yeah,
here all
sorry,
day
I
on the
prepare for
street.
debates. You got me there.
All right.
Prepare for debates. I got 10,000 things I got to prepare for. Not this stupid ass
Yeah,
debate.
like one of them is harassing Destiny on stage. I know that takes a lot of your time.
All right.
Are you
I was
a
gonna say,
Destiny ball washer? Is that what you are, a Destiny ball washer?
Oh my
I've confronted Destiny in multiple places.
Oh my
but
God,
so
yes,
you're a
good.
Destiny ball washer?
I'm a person who doesn't harass random people at events.
Okay, so you're lazy-eyed, you're balding.
Oh,
you're
right.
Personal insults. Just
All
engage with me on the points. Why can't you do that?
Hold on. You guys both on mute.
Well,
Just one
just
second.
because you look like you're from the Water Boy. You look like you have Bell's palsy or something.
He's gotten
That's
so
why.
fast
But
to
yeah,
take himself on
I've
mute.
confronted Destiny. You can go watch Destiny's balls. Do you share your wife like Destiny shares his?
Holy lightning.
know what I'm
Okay,
talking-
before we get into the ball sniffing, I know you're so fast taking yourself off
I
mute.
know, are you
Let
a
your
cuckold
friend in
like-
here.
like Destiny?
You got another person in here, Alex.
Alex, are you a cuckold like Destiny? Your buddy?
We're not going to talk about other
You know,
debaters on
Destiny's
the
a
show.
homosexual too. You know, so are you guys homosexuals together? Is that why you're so tight with him, Alex?
No.
I think we're going to
you've
have
never
to get
done
back to the
homosexual
debate
stuff with him?
topic,
I
Alex.
doubt that.
Alex,
Yeah,
I
I
doubt
know.
that.
I know
Alex,
Destiny wants to talk
you
about.
can't complain about the speakers that are here if we're going to just divulge into other topics that are not about what's going on here in the space. So, yeah, let me take the plague mask off. Maybe nobody could take me seriously. I mean, I know I'm pale as a freaking ghost, but yeah, Josh, you were trying to jump in. If we have some other topics we can explore, and I'll remind our audience, we do have Q&A coming up shortly, so we will take your questions. But Josh, if you can kick us into some new territory, something we have not gone into, and maybe
Also, just
something
really
that's
quickly, Josh, I wrote down
also
notes after you spoke, so there's a few things I want to go through based on your statement. But go ahead.
okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to be
Cool.
mocking.
Yeah, I mean, wow, that was a lot. So, forgive me if I can't, off the cuff, think of a new topic. Throw something out there, and I'm happy to talk about it.
Yeah, sure. I can just go off what you said in your opening
Wait,
statement.
Alex, somebody in my chat just said you really were in an open relationship, Alex. Is that true?
No. Why do you care so much about my relationships?
I know, but were
Destiny's
you
relationships.
in an open relationship?
You just like a fucking attention whore. No, I was not in an open relationship.
All right,
that's what they're
guys, there are
saying in
two
my
wars
chat.
going on right now in the world. There are
So
two
you
wars
never
going
were.
on.
You
Hold on,
confirm-
Alex. Hold on.
You
No,
never
that-
wife
that's
swapped?
Hold on, you guys are both on mute. There are two wars going on in the world. There's Ukraine.
He's the one
there's
that
what's
brought
going
up
on
Destiny. I was
between.
sitting here debating, and then he brought up Destiny.
That's.
I mean,
I know, but that's something that we don't want to go into.
I mean,
I understand.
so you
It's-
never
it's fun.
swapped with Destiny, Alex? That's not true.
No. Okay, can we get back to the
Have
Not
you
even
ever
not even a
swapped,
Pokemon.
though?
All right,
Have you
so
ever swapped, Alex?
not even a Pokemon. He can't
There's a
evolve
guy, Nick
a
Rekieta,
Haunter.
that you
This
ought to
guy.
meet. Are
All
you
right.
friends with Nick Rekieta?
Why are you so scared to talk about policy?
Why are you so scared to talk about your best friend Destiny and swapping wives with him?
I've never
All
swiped
right,
lives.
honestly, Alex,
I don't
just
believe.
all right, Alex. Honestly, I'm putting you on mute because once again, you're pulling us so far away from the debate topic.
He's the
I'm
one
trying,
that started the poll.
I understand, and I tried to tell both of you this is not where we're going to go. We've got, like I say, two wars going on right now as far as most people are concerned.
He's from a third world country like Belarus. They don't know anything.
We should talk a
they
little
don't know. They
bit
don't have any
about
social skills.
what candidates. I'm sorry, Alex. We got to talk a little bit, I think, about which candidate may be good on which war you would want to talk about first, honestly, or if you consider it a war. So you can maybe go down there. I want to hand it over to you first, Josh, honestly. Like I say, you and Thomas have not gotten as much time on the floor, so if you want to pick your poison first on this topic, and we can discuss who you think would do better in regards to this situation.
Yeah.
Josh, do
Yeah,
you want me to give you ideas, or you're good?
No. So I mean, look. Biden and Harris have demonstrated that they're all about war. They're hawks when it comes to it. They want to keep us in the war with Ukraine, and they want to keep giving them billions and billions and billions of dollars. We all know Donald Trump tends to take a more isolationist bent, and he did when he was president. We are not involved in these foreign engagements that Obama is known for, that Biden's now known for. And so I think, they both have, we don't have to guess, okay? We don't need a crystal ball to look into the future. We can lay their CVs side by side and look at 4 years under both Biden, Harris, and Trump and see who did better when it comes to foreign entanglements. I think by far Trump did better, and he kept his word and he kept us out of foreign entanglements. It wasn't until he was out of office that Russia invaded Ukraine. So, I mean, I think it's a sign of a weak leader. I think that Putin knew we had a weak leader. I think he knew, as Alex alluded to earlier, that he's just an empty suit. Look, Biden is mentally compromised. There is nobody, if you watch him speak and attempt to articulate in his elocution, he cannot speak properly. Something is mentally wrong with him. He likely has dementia of some kind. Harris is no better for different reasons. She is also an empty suit. And as we talked about earlier, it's just going to be business as usual, not just on the home front, but internationally. Other countries' leaders recognize that we have a weak leader here in both Biden and in Harris. And so I believe if we elect Harris, we are going to have more leaders being aggressive in foreign entanglements, whether it's Israel, Iran, Palestine, Russia with Ukraine. They're going to take advantage of it. With Trump in office, I do not believe there is that weakness that is seen or imputed to America as there will be with Harris. I also believe this is an issue we have to talk about, how they will view her as a woman leader, as the first female leader. How will things develop with that? I think it's a very nuanced issue. And so I think going with Trump is the best way to bring these things to an end. And he's articulated that he will do that.
Let's go around the panel with that one. So Thomas Clay, on the issue of, foreign, well, I guess we can get into foreign policy as a broad talking point, because I think that's where we're going to go. So go ahead, Thomas.
Well, we've had 45 straight dicks in office, and maybe it's time to try something else. And every dollar that we spend defeating Russia helps the United States. There used to be a time, I remember, when Republicans used to be against Russia, and now they think they're their best friends because they keep paying Tim Pool and Dave Rubin and Benny, whatever
I'm
his
friends
name
with
was.
Tim Pool. They did not pay Tim Pool. I'm friends with Tim Pool. So is Alex Stein.
Well, they did pay him, Joe.
Oh yes, they did. Oh yes, they did.
This is
Yes,
Thomas's
they did.
turn.
And
He
you'll understand this, counselor,
He
when
doesn't even deny it.
indictments come down for Tim Pool and taking that money, because
He was
Tim
conned.
Pool,
He was conned, but
you're friends with Tim Pool. That's
you'll get a
great.
turn after, don't worry, Alex.
Then you will know that he's also employs a woman by the name of Cassandra Fairbanks, who also used to work with Russia Today with the woman that works at Glenn Beck's. So to say that he didn't know he was getting Russian money is absurd, because Cassandra and that other girl were thick as thieves. And Cassandra moved from Los Angeles, I know, because she used to work for me. And she moved to D.C. after she got a sweetheart deal with Russia Today to move clear across the country and be one of the Russia Today's subjects.
Cassandra
And now
doesn't
all
work
of a
there
sudden,
anymore, though.
Tim's going to have to
Cassandra-
close down
Cassandra
his
was
show.
let go. Cassandra was let go by Tim.
Let's move it over to you, Alex.
Yes, because he's not getting the $100,000 an episode to come out and say Ukraine is the biggest
All right.
threat to the United States there's ever been.
All right, let's move it over to Alex. I think that's been a fair amount of time there on that one. So speaking about the foreign policy, go ahead, Alex Stein. It's on you.
Well, I mean, obviously, our geopolitical relationships are the worst they've ever been right now, considering that we're in a proxy war with Russia. Very potentially over Taiwan, we're going to be in a war I think they're predicting is going to happen in 2025. So, yeah, I mean, geopolitically, things are absolutely horrible. I mean, you look at the conflict in the Middle East and the Gaza Strip. I mean, that's only going to be more intense. I don't think that they're going to ever do a ceasefire. And Kamala Harris is too weak. Benjamin Netanyahu is just going to be able to run over Kamala Harris and do whatever the hell he wants. And yeah, I mean, our geopolitical relationships suck. And Donald Trump did not start any wars. You guys must love war. I hate war. And I know there's a lot of conservatives.
Except Israel. You're kind of forgetting that a little bit.
I don't like Israel fighting a war. I never said that I like that.
Well, when he moved the embassy to Jerusalem, that caused a whole lot of problems. In case you have
Well, he
forgotten,
also did the
because you don't
Abraham
know.
Accords, But listen, it's not even
Abraham Accords. Oh, what a big thing, the Abraham Accords. Let's see. Israel made peace
It's
with
funny because
Sudan. Were they at war? Was Israel at war with Sudan?
Pontificate all you want.
Was Israel at war with Sudan?
All right, let's let Alex Stein respond, and then Alex PWF.
Well, I'm just saying,
will
I'm
have the
just
last
trying
word.
to talk about this. And
Yeah,
then
that's
you guys
right, they
always
weren't.
butt in when I start talking. I try to let you guys just, pontificate.
Oh, I didn't hear enough about you
Let's
and
be fair.
Destiny bullshit.
All
I
right.
didn't bring that up. It was over there, gargoyle guy.
Yes,
over
you
there
did.
Brought it up,
my
Mr.
goodness.
Belarus.
All right, before we get too sidetracked, Alex, back to the topic. Let's wrap up.
Our geopolitical relationships are terrible. They're terrible under Kamala. And you know what? Maybe you guys are right. Maybe Kamala Harris will be able to sleep with Putin and end the war in the Ukraine. And if she can do that, then, God bless her soul. If she can pull another Willie Brown and sleep her way to world peace, then you know what? Then I would vote for her. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think she's a little washed up. When she was Willie Brown, she probably looked a little better. But if this is Kamala Harris of 20 years ago, you know what? Maybe you're right. I haven't liked one of your opinions yet, Thomas, but you did say that we've had 45 guys. Why don't we try a woman? I like that because I guess that would be anecdotal, and I know that'll make Alex over there have a panic attack. But my point is, you guys know Kamala Harris is incompetent, and she's not capable of leading the free world. I know you guys wanted to defend her because you don't like Donald Trump.
Saying that she's incompetent compared to Trump is laughable.
Well, Trump's more competent. He had more success.
No, Trump thinks that tariffs are paid by China.
In his lifetime than Kamala Harris.
No, he wasn't. He was born with $400 million in his bank account.
All right,
he's not a successful businessman. Nothing. You're a liar.
I'm not a liar. Dude, you never had a Trump steak. They're delicious, dude.
Okay. All right. I think last thoughts over there, PWF, on this one, and then we may be able to get it into an open discussion and bounce your guys' ideas back and forth. You've all thrown a lot out there as far as how you think things can be resolved or, discrepancies with the foreign policy. But go ahead there, Alex. The floor is yours.
Well, Alex Stein's foreign policy seems to be centered around sex. Genius insight. let me address what Josh said because he actually brought up points. So I've heard this argument before that Trump was strong and that's kept other dictators from fucking around. But if Trump is so strong and this theory is true, then why did North Korea continue building nukes and doing their missile tests? Why is that? Even though Trump apparently had a conversation with Kim Jong-un, why did they continue building nukes and doing missile tests? Why did the deaths in Afghanistan under Trump's tenure increase by 300%? Why did that happen if he's so tough? And then in terms of him being pro-peace, why did he bomb Syria twice then? Why did he try to coup Venezuela? Why did he assassinate the Iranian general who was fighting ISIS, which led to the death of, I believe, 1 or 2 U.S. service members for which there was no repercussions for? Why did he increase drone strikes by 400%? Under Biden, the drone strikes have become pretty much negligible, but he increased them by 400%. From they were already high. So this idea that, Trump is pro-peace is not really in any kind of way supported by facts if you just look at his actions, his policies. So yeah, I would say the whole idea of he's so strong, he kept us safe. Well, no, that's not, you can see that didn't happen with the Taliban and did not happen with North Korea.
All right, back over to you, Josh. Thoughts on what you've heard around the panel?
Yeah, I'm not with the top brass of the military. I'm not at those discussions. So frankly, I can't provide you an answer because I don't have the knowledge to. When it comes to those things, I would assume that, after speaking to people in his cabinet, they decided that perhaps increasing drone strike was a strategic move that they thought was going to be beneficial to America. Honestly,
but that's not a pro-peace move, right? That's not pro-peace.
Well, but you have to understand, we weren't in these massive entanglements that we're in now. There's no way being intellectually honest.
No, hang on. We were entanglement in Syria, in Iraq with ISIS. In fact, it was Trump that put boots on the ground in ISIS. Trump was the one treating Ukrainian fighters. Crimea was still a thing that was happening. This idea that we were not in any foreign entanglements is just silly.
It was not to the degree that it's at now with Israel and Palestine, in Russia and Ukraine. Those things weren't happening on the scale. That's true. That they're happening now.
That's true, but that's like arguing there was no pandemic under Biden. The pandemic happened under Trump. You're finding faults that might not necessarily be attributed to that person.
They might not be totally attributed to them, but me, just as a common sense person watching Biden, it makes sense that people would look at him and say, this man is utterly incompetent and he's not even mentally present. Maybe we can invade a country now because
No,
America
it
has
doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't make sense because people are afraid of the U.S. military, not our 82 or 80-year-old president. They're afraid
I
of the
think
US
who
military.
the president is matters greatly. I think whether you have Biden or Trump in office makes a difference. That's why people
So
vote
why did
because
North
it
Korea
matters.
why did North Korea continue building nukes and doing missile tests? Why did deaths in Afghanistan increase by 300% of Trump? If it
You
matters,
already asked those, and I said I was not there for those discussions, so I can't shed any light on them. I'm not in those
okay, let's
meetings,
just
so I don't know.
take what I say at face value. Let's just pretend that it's true. It is true. You can fact check me later, but let's just take it at face value. If these things are true, then doesn't that disprove your whole theory that people were afraid of Trump and that's why they didn't fuck around?
No, because Russia didn't invade Ukraine when Trump was president.
Russia had already invaded Ukraine when Trump was president. They were still in Crimea. There was still civil war going on in the Donbass region.
It was not at the scale that it's at now, and you know that, and you can't. You're being
Of course.
disingenuous.
We got
It's
some
not-
opposing
it's not-
body language from your other two silent partners here right now. So Alex is shaking his head no. So Alex Stein, the floor is yours if you'd like to jump in.
Well, what are we even talking about now? I mean, this debate's just so boring, dude. I mean, this is just let's get it going.
No worries. Thomas, you were nodding your head in agreement. So if you want to add on to what you're hearing here between Alex and Josh, I don't want to be unfair to you guys and allow you a space. But if not, then
Because
Alex and Josh
because he's
free to
perfectly correct, just because he doesn't know what's going on in world events and doesn't change the focus away from all the trans issues that he's so obsessed with.
What?
All right. Before we get distracted,
you
then, maybe it would be
the
best
trans
to,
issues you're
Let's stay on top.
obsessed with.
You're the only one
let's
talking
Let's
about.
stay on the topic then, guys. Like I said, I was under the impression that there was going to be some add-on, but go ahead there, Alex.
Yeah, me too.
PWF, the floor is yours.
Yeah. So, Josh, you seem like more the reasonable one out of the bunch. So, if what I'm saying is true, which you can fact check later, that North Korea did not stop building nukes and they kept doing missile tests, and that Russia did not pull out of the of Crimea, and the most important one is that we did not have a 300% increase. Yeah, we had 300% increase in deaths in Afghanistan. So wouldn't that just directly just go against, at least make you question the theory that it was Trump's strength that kept our enemies at bay?
I never alleged that Trump eradicated any kind of issues around the world. I simply think he is a stronger leader and that people fear him more than someone like Joe Biden or, in this case, Kamala Harris. Do you honestly think that world leaders respect Kamala Harris?
Well, actually, there's been surveys. The surveys have been done across the world, and yes,
Oh my God, surveys
there's
have been-
nobody respects her. She's an empty suit. She has no
Who respects-
personality. She
Wait,
can't
who
articulate
respects Trump?
anything.
Who's done this survey?
All right, let's let
Who's
Alex Stein
conducting
in here.
CNN, MSNBC? Who's conducting this survey?
Who? It's you, Gov. Who respects Trump besides dictators? Name me one person who respects him who's not a dictator.
All the rappers who used to rap about him all the time.
No,
all the people
world
that go on the
leaders.
show.
Not rappers. What are the world leaders that respect Trump who are not dictators? Just tell me a few.
They all do. They all respect Trump.
Which ones?
The ones who don't pull any
Potato.
in office.
I
So
think
you-
Kim Jong Un does support.
Can you name
I
a
think-
single world leader who's
No,
not
I would say
dictator?
Kim Jong Un. I would say that he respects Donald Trump. I think that he kept some memorabilia.
Well,
for
first of
when he
all,
was-
he's a dictator, and second of all, why, if he respects Trump, why did he keep building nukes, and why did he not stop the missile tests?
well, he's allowed to test some missiles on outside of his island or whatever. He's allowed to do that.
Don't you think that goes against America's foreign policy towards North Korea? Don't you think the
No,
goal?
I think other
is-
countries should be able to test some missiles. No, I don't think that does.
Okay, just taking aside the fact that you're just in favor of of North Korea just becoming more nuclear and more powerful, which I think is
Well, I
nuts.
think nuclear weapons are. I mean, I'm such a conspiracy.
But once
theorist.
again, the question is,
I think they
what
lie
are
about nuclear weapons.
non-dictators?
How about
You
this?
name
The
name
government
a
lied.
dictator.
They said that there's weapons of mass destruction. There's nuclear weapons in the Middle East. That was a lie. The TV tells us that he's got all these nukes. I don't believe that to be the case. I think a lot of that's.
So you don't think North Korea has nukes?
No, I don't.
How do we,
What?
we're just operating like different
They-
worlds.
They've demonstrated they have. They've shot them off. We've seen the Geiger counters. We have seen the earthquakes, and we have seen them on on seismographs. What do
They're
you mean they
overestimating
don't
the
have
power of their
nukes?
bombs.
But
They
They
have
Stein,
big
this is
bombs.
just
They have
no.
big bombs. Mother of all bombs. They have Moabs or whatever. Big ass bombs, but they don't have nuclear weapons like you guys think. They don't.
Yes, they've shot them off and demonstrated that they have them. These
don't.
are facts. You can go on Google right now and YouTube them.
They don't. Guys.
Moron.
I don't think he cares
I'm
about.
not a moron. I'm just saying they don't have nukes. They
Yes,
can
you
hit
are.
us,
You
they're
just
not-
don't know
they
it.
don't-
A
they-
moron
they
never knows
don't.
they're a
They don't.
moron.
They
Well,
don't.
let me get back to my question. What are some world leaders who are not dictators who respect Trump?
Dude, are
I'm
you
not an
kidding me?
encyclopedia. I don't know.
Just name me one. You made a claim. Shouldn't you know at
I
least?
said Kim Jong Un. I said.
He's a dictator, dummy.
I said, look at
Good
the
call me
results.
dummy, cross-eyed. What are you talking about? You said name one. Let's just get into.
I said
the
name
other
one who's not a
questions.
dictator.
We said, well, now you're adding all this stuff to it.
Nope.
I mean,
Yeah.
listen.
People can go back and watch it. I've said that the whole time. Name me one who's not.
Just
a dictator.
say potato. Just say potato.
Well, I'd say Angela Merkel respects him.
Angela Merkel. You think respects Trump more
She's
than
not
him?
head of state of anything right now, there, buddy. And she
does
hates
respect
Trump.
him. She does respect him.
What is this based on? Because
Justin Trudeau respects him.
Justin Trudeau was
No, he does not.
Yes, he
kind of
does.
bad.
Yes, he does.
He hasn't. Then why is he laughing?
Oh, just because you say he does, he does. No,
He
he's
does.
not.
He
He's a
respects- They all
liberal
respect him. They're all nice
Democrat.
to him. They're all nice to him.
Yeah,
They're
because
all nice to him when he's president because they have stability
I
and
mean, you guys think
manners.
it's so
Trump
crazy.
has
You
none.
guys really think Justin Trudeau doesn't respect him? I think he respects him.
I think this
I've
is
met
No.
Justin Trudeau's brother.
I think this
and,
is your silent way to try to drag me into this conversation. And I'm
I
just
guess.
joking.
Nobody respects
no,
Canada.
he's laughing behind his back.
We don't respect ourselves, I swear. No, I'm just joking. All right. If you guys want to carry on, that's totally fine. If you had other questions you wanted to bounce off each other, we do have quite a few questions coming in from the Q&A, and I know that Alex wanted to push into that. We did run out of
Yeah,
our
let's
usual
push.
timer.
Let's push into that. I actually have I have to do another interview. I'm sorry, I'm very busy. So if
I
we
know you guys got to get off this discussion because it's not looking too good. That's fine.
No, it's not even. It's not looking good. It's just boring, dude. We're never gonna come to an agreement.
Yeah, I
It's
know
like Kamala Harris.
policy and facts and statistics are boring.
Well, people like to
I don't
interview
think-
me.
I don't
People like
think
to
that.
interview me. There's been 100,000 articles written about me in the last 13 months. I can't help it. I get paid for them, and I want to do the interviews. So yes, I would like to move on to the Q&As.
All right, let's go to the Q&A. And it can't be all boring. Look, I brought a plague mask. That was pretty fun. I
Well, it's
thought
boring for Trump supporters because they can't talk about policy, so they have to. Anything
Yes, we
that's
can talk
policy related is
about
boring too.
policy. Yes, we can talk about policy.
Really, you've dodged that pretty much 70%
No,
of the
I
time.
haven't, dude. I've talked about the Abraham Accords. I've talked about it all, dude. I talked about
Okay, Stein. So, what are 3 of Trump's policy accomplishments that you support during his first?
Stacking the Supreme Court, getting rid of Roe versus Wade. I support the Abraham Accords, and then how he opened up.
I thought you just said you don't support the Abraham Accords.
I said I do. I said I do support that, and then how he opened up, all the oil and gas stuff that Obama tried to shut down, and Space Force.
Do you think we're producing more gas now or 4 years ago?
Well, 4 years ago, that was during the pandemic, so probably less.
5 years
everybody
ago,
knows.
6 years ago.
Are we producing? Let me look it up.
Well, no, just your opinion. Just like you don't have to give me an exact number. Just
Well,
like
then, I mean, I don't think we are, because why would we shut down the Keystone Pipeline? And then
We-
why did
we
they
are
make it so hard?
producing-
Because the Keystone Pipeline has nothing to do with gasoline.
producing
or
more
anything
gas.
else.
and more natural gas, more oil and more natural gas than we ever have. It has grown every single year for the last like 25
Yeah,
years.
but it could grow exponentially, because I know people in Midland, ever since Kamala's got in office, they've had to move. A lot of the oil and gas industries actually shrunk in Midland. And they were making so much oil and gas during Trump's presidency, they had to basically give it away for free. That's not the case now.
Have to
The
give it away
price-
for-
That's bullshit.
Yes,
You think like
they couldn't
Shell?
store it. They
You
couldn't
think
store
Shell
it.
is
That's
just
why they were
giving away
selling it
free
so
oil?
cheap. You guys know that's why they're selling it so cheap, and
That's
the
not
price
how
of
the
gas
oil
when Trump
markets
left
work.
office compared to
We're
today
selling
was
twice
much
as much now than when Trump was president.
No, it's
Twice
not
as much.
It's twice as much now. Okay, twice as much.
Google
Whatever.
is your friend, dummy. All you gotta do is go
Quit
look it
calling me
up.
Dummy, bald, fat ass, idiot, loser.
I
gay
don't care.
freak.
I'm smart. I'm smarter. You're stupid. I lose
No, you're
weight,
not
buddy.
smarter than me.
You're not
Four eyes.
smart.
Yes, I am.
No,
It's a
you're not.
And you
certified
look like a ball
You
sack.
don't have 2
All
brain
right.
cells to rub together.
Two
You
brain-
look like a
All right,
ball
all
sack.
right,
all right.
And you look like
All
a
right.
ball sack.
All right, before you guys don't have any audio to put out to the internet, hold on. I'm just gonna take a couple of you guys off mute. We are gonna move into Q&A. I think that's a spicy meatball, to quote a Canadian comedian. to leave our debate off on. So thank you so much to our lively panel, Thomas, PWF Alex, Josh, coming in on his iPhone tonight. Look at you. And you know what? I don't even hear an echo on your side. Your audio is great. And Alex Stein, thanks for being here. We are going to ask your questions from the audience. And make no mistake, I don't think anybody on the panel is going to be shy about jumping on these ones. So you guys want to get those questions in, and we're going to ask them. So Meriden starts it out at, how do you justify supporting a convicted felon who illegally retained classified documents, endangering our national security? He wants the presidency to pardon himself because he knows he will go to prison otherwise.
There's always an excuse. Let's hear it.
Biden had classified documents in his garage.
What aboutism?
Let me take this because I'm a bit of an expert on this. So you have your Juris Doctor, correct? Is there a difference between a classified document and a top secret document?
Do I look like I work in the fucking government? And why do you keep referencing?
Okay, do you understand that there's different compartmentalized data that is, some things are classified, for instance, like the armor on an M1 tank. If it's ever breached, you have to patch it full of mud and station a guard off of it. Then there's the positions of our nuclear platforms that are up in space. Those are called top secret compartmentalized data. What Trump took was top secret compartmentalized data, the crown jewels of the intelligence industry. And you think that you're going to concoct that Joe Biden had classified documents while Trump had top secret, non-official covert agent lists. And the only reason why he would have non-official covert agent lists is to sell them.
Let me just build on that a little bit, because a lot of people get confused between, well, what's the difference between Biden keeping documents and Trump? So here's the difference. Biden, Pence, when they were notified by the National Archives that they have some documents, they immediately cooperated and handed them over. What happened with Trump was very different. He spent a year ignoring them. Then the FBI came to his house and they politely asked. They knocked the first time and he gave them some stuff, but he also withdrew and hid a lot of stuff. So he lied to the FBI and he also moved some of the documents so he can hang on to them. Then they got wind of that. They kept asking him for over a year to give the documents back. And finally, when they saw he was willing to cooperate, they did a raid on his apartment where they found more legal documents, even though he said that he had already surrendered all his legal documents. So the issue is obstruction of justice. In order for you to be breaking the law when it comes to this kind of stuff, you have to be willingly is the key word, withholding classified documents. And Biden and Pence were not, because the second they found out that there might be something, they completely surrendered them to the authorities. Trump did not do that. He did his absolute best, including deception and lying, to hang on to those documents.
See, that's why I like Trump. He just does what he wants, and we need someone to buck the system.
We need someone that keeps top nuclear secrets.
Alex, so he can
make
them declassified. Yes, he can.
No, he can't. Yes, there's a procedure.
Yeah, what did Jared Kushner get that $2 billion for, I wonder?
Where did Hunter Biden get all that money from those Ukrainian gas companies? You don't think he was selling secrets? You don't think that was
how much was that versus $2 billion, dummy?
I'm just saying, so you think it's okay Hunter Biden selling our secrets?
Yeah, I think it's okay for Hunter Biden to get $8 million, and I don't think it's okay for Jared Kushner to get $2
billion. You guys think it's okay that the president's son is selling us out to foreign countries that we're now in a proxy war with? Okay, so that's where you guys are at. Okay, real smart.
How do you think the declassification process works?
I just know that the president is able to declassify a document.
Yes, if he goes to concern, he has to go through.
I know Hunter Biden's a crackhead.
Last question.
There's a thing you have to go through.
We can argue about the declassification of documents. You think it's okay that Hunter Biden works for Burisma, an oil and gas company, and using his influence and making people step down? You think that's okay? That Joe Biden?
I think Hunter Biden probably most likely broke some laws. But fortunately, Hunter Biden is not running for president. He's not part of the Biden administration.
He's not part of the Biden administration yet. He's his son, and then was his bag man doing business for him. So you don't believe that?
You got any proof of that? Apparently, federal prosecutors.
There's no evidence that Joe Biden was involved.
You really don't think that Hunter Biden was doing any work for his dad? You guys really believe that?
No.
Yeah.
I
actually do not believe that he was doing
I didn't
shit
think you guys
for
were
Joe
that
Biden.
dumb.
We are going to move on, guys. We're going to move on. Everybody's talking all at once. I know you're excited, and there's all kinds to unpack. But we do have more super chats, and yeah, honestly, I do appreciate all of you guys. I know it's sometimes tough to have these communications, and everybody's chomping at the bit, but it takes some real gonads, if you know what I mean, to stick it out through these things. So I appreciate all of you. Chase Hatchet says, once you start slinging personal insults, you have admitted your argument has no legs to stand on. So any thoughts?
You can do both. You can argue with legs to stand on and do personal insults. You can do both, believe it or not.
I think that's true, actually.
Once somebody lies to you in a civil discussion, you are no longer obliged to be civil to them.
I think that, look, I don't care if Alex Stein wants to insult me or whatever. It's all in good fun. But I think that once we're talking about policy and the person keeps deflecting from policy and making it personal, then that indicates.
I've talked about the policies that I like Trump. What are the good
Spend half
policies?
the time talking about
Okay, real quick. Then you want to talk about policy? What are 3 good policies that Kamala Harris has done?
I literally, so this shows that you weren't paying attention. I said that during my opening.
No, I didn't pay attention. It was boring as hell when you were speaking. But name 3 policies?
Just go back and watch it. I named them during.
Just name them real quick.
Honestly, honestly,
$50,000 tax credit to entrepreneurs.
Potentially, she could do that. Potentially, you're talking about her. I'm saying, what policies has she done as vice president that she's gotten done?
Do you think the vice president can implement policy?
Well, I think in the border she could do stuff. Yeah, I think she could actually.
What do you think?
Like what? Like what?
What do you think?
She went to the border that she could probably talk to the president and get some sort of border policy.
What do you think her job was as it relates to?
Maybe to stop criminals and rapists from coming over here and raping. And
what was her jurisdiction? What was she put in charge of?
Well, it's actually kind of a gray area because there's states.
It's not a gray area. She was put in charge.
Yeah, well, then why is Texas suing the federal government if it's not a gray area?
She was put in charge.
If it's not a gray area, no. So you're telling me the border is just clear cut and that the states and federal government don't fight about the border?
No, that's a totally different thing. I'm saying that Kamala.
How is that a totally different thing?
All right.
You want to talk about states' rights versus federal rights versus what Kamala's job was. Kamala's job was pretty straightforward. I agree with you. There's a lot of confusion between states' rights and.
Well, she could stop FEMA from spending all of our money and giving it to illegal immigrants, and then when we have a
hurricane
in North Carolina, they can't
that
give
never
them. They only give them $700.
You just
never happened.
Made that up.
Let's move to the next question.
She could do something and use her influence with FEMA.
So what she did, her job was traveling to other countries that we have a lot of immigration for and working out policies and deals.
And she didn't work out any. And immigration is the worst it's ever been.
No, yes.
Immigration is the worst it's ever been.
Because we have a broken asylum process and because we don't have.
So you admit that the asylum process is broken, yet she hasn't done anything to fix it in 4 years. So you admit that?
Republicans always break the asylum system because you all enjoy slavery.
You admit that we have a broken asylum system, and that she has not done anything to fix that.
That went a different direction than I thought, guys. We're going to move to the next question.
On that. Can we agree on that?
No,
dude?
because it's a stupid talking point.
All right, we're moving to the next question, guys. Guys.
But you admit that our asylum system is broken, that anybody can just claim asylum, yet she's been in power, and technically it's her job to be border czar. Can't do anything to fix it.
She was never named the border czar. Her job was just solely traveling to other countries. And
you're the one that's
I think our audience. Hold on, both Alexes. Hold on, both Alexes.
And you're an illegal immigrant, so of course you like illegal immigration.
Our audience, I think, understands where both of you stand on this. Like I said, they can go back and probably hear you guys say this a few times.
I want to make a $5,000 bet on whether I'm an immigrant, illegal immigrant or not.
Oh, you guys and your bets.
Of course they don't.
Are you guys on Piers Morgan or something? What's going on with all the bets?
Born here. Yeah, 1 point. Your parents are illegal. Somebody's illegal in your deal.
All right. Well, thank you guys for all the super chats. We do have more. This is a very lively panel. I am enjoying it. You guys. I don't like putting people on mute. I just get progressively louder, and then I'll ramble for longer, and it'll drive you crazy. You'll be like, "Well, this fucker, shut up." Anyways, oh my goodness, I censored myself from saying mother, but not the other part. I'm a bad parent. All right, Prodigy of Epistemology said, I live in Louisiana. Thomas, gas here is not $1.80. It's been over $3.50.
Wow, look at that. The chode that looks like a thumb and likes to call other people stupid is an ignoramus.
1 second. The question's not over.
You're a chode. You're overweight.
There's this interesting thing.
And you don't look like me and Alex Stein. So you
there's
hurl
this interesting.
but you're really
There's something interesting, you fatuous nink.
I'm sorry. Go eat
Oh,
another.
right, you're both on
Say the
mute.
N-word? Did he say the
There's-
N-word? I think he said the N-word.
Hold on, there's two. I put you guys on mute at just maybe the wrong time. Anyways, let's read into what anybody was about to say because I did mute at an unfortunate time. The question, as it goes, is it has been over $3.50. It recently went down to $2.80 the last couple of weeks. Your statistics are wrong. So if you have anything,
You're
this
wrong,
question, sorry, I'll take you off the mute there, Thomas, and appreciate you respecting that there. So the question
I
is
said
for you,
Louisville,
Thomas.
Kentucky, not Louisiana. Louisiana has different taxes than Kentucky.
But you admit that the price of gas is more expensive now than when Trump was in office, right, Thomas?
Yeah,
I admit that the price of gasoline is lower now when the first 2 years of Trump's presidency. Yes.
Even the last day of his presidency, it was cheaper than
The
it is
last
now.
day of his presidency has to do with the pandemic, and you don't understand there isn't a Republican alive that seems to understand what the oil market means
Oh, there's not a
and
Republican
how
alive that
the
understands
president
oil.
has no
All right,
control
all right,
over it
bud,
whatsoever.
All right.
Looks like
Yeah,
you're not
you
as
know
smart
that.
as you thought you were, Chode. Sorry.
I'm
you got called out
twice as
to
smart
pay.
as you, dummy.
Go
And
to
if
the
you want the
gym.
Penis head in the
Go to
$10,000
the
chat.
gym.
challenge,
Is
you
that
would
what
have
you're
it
calling
more. I
too.
think that diabetes is getting to your cerebellum.
Those are
Oh,
real-
my
I
God.
don't have diabetes in the
Okay.
least.
Everybody
This
enjoy
is a
a
fun
mute.
debate. This is a fun debate.
I thought you were bored. I mean, all of a sudden
I
things
am
just.
bored. I'm so bored as hell. These two
Yeah, I
guys.
could see it. I could see
No,
it.
you got no low energy, no entertainment, nothing funny has come out of their mouth one time.
Yeah, I know. I'm soon gonna just scream out these
Look at
statistics.
that dog. Even that damn dog is bored over there. Look at that dog, dude. I've never seen a more abused bored dog in my
sorry,
life.
I can't keep up with your fake fucking back.
All right, as fun as
Yeah,
this,
but you got a fake
how's your
dog.
fake
Your
fire
dog's,
coming
your
along?
dog's bored as hell over
as
there,
fun as the
dude.
meta-analysis
Where's
is
my
there,
dog?
Alex.
Ginger, come here.
Hold on. Yeah,
Come here,
no.
Ginger. What is that in your thing?
Nobody sure wants to come.
You
What
can't
is
you
she
can't pull
doing?
out your P word again on camera, as Ben
here,
Shapiro
Ginger.
would say. All right, don't do it again,
Ginger.
Alex. It's like when I used to host Aaron all the time. He'd bring out his bird, you know. He's got a lot of birds. Anyways, so I make terrible jokes. It's just how I am. We do have a poll going on in the chat. I will let our speakers know. If you want to step out for a second, grab yourself a drink, drop into the washroom, speak now or forever hold your pee. All right, that's all you get. All right, so 44% of our audience has voted for Trump. 44% has also voted for Harris. And then 12% have voted for same different day. All right. Keeping myself out of trouble with YouTube. I've done so well. All right.
This is a real dog, dude. This one is a real dog. We would crush in a dog fight. This is a real purebred pit bull.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
She's
God.
trained.
You have a lovely dog.
I want to make sure your dog's alive. You're not over there abusing it.
He's
Yes.
not eating the dogs. All right, I'm just
Damn
sorry.
dog
I'm
can't even
sorry.
freaking move.
I do watch some of that American media
come here,
every once in a
puppy.
while.
You have
All right,
does
so
the dog hear me?
Chase Hatchett says, "Why are all the
Man,
Trump
it's just
arguments
pure-
sources? Trust me, bro." So he's saying that you guys are coming down to trust me, bro, as your source. So if either of you would like to chime in, he says to the Trump argument sources. So he's saying that you guys are relying on trust me, bro, for your argument's sake. So any comments here?
I feel like Democrats are always saying don't believe your lying eyes, and when we see reality and we articulate that reality, people try to say, oh no, that's not what's happening. It's actually can I finish the sentence without you interrupting it? So I think the whole trust me bro is a misnomer. It's just we're just stating facts. We were not involved in these massive overseas wars that we're in now. And if that's trust me, bro, then it's saying trust what your eyes are telling you and use your common sense. So I think that's what it's saying.
What was one Democratic politician who said what you're claiming, that don't trust your lying eyes? Just name me one.
I'm not talking about politicians. I'm talking about the media. Did you see what they're trying to do with what Biden said when he said Trump supporters are garbage? The media then said he said Trump's rhetoric was garbage. That's not what he said. He said his supporters. That is an example of don't believe your lying eyes.
So
we know what was said. We saw it, and now they're trying to
broaden the question. Who's someone in the media that said, don't trust your lying eyes? Who's a Democrat?
It happens every day when
So
we see what's happening, and they're saying, don't believe your lying eyes. We'll
Just
tell
give me
you
one
what
example of one instance. One example.
I just gave you an example when he said Trump supporters are garbage, and then they released a statement the next day and said he said the rhetoric was garbage. That is a lie. You said, don't even let me finish. You're so ridiculous. You just keep interrupting. You can't help yourself. You have diarrhea of the mouth.
Okay, I know you're very
maybe it's that broken nose. I don't know what's going on with you.
Personal insults. You said that Democrats are saying don't trust your lying eyes. So who's one Democrat that said that? Don't give me a story about how you think that's what they meant. Well, who's someone that said don't trust your lying eyes?
Every day you see something that's going on.
Name me one example.
That what they're coming back with, their whole entire ethos is don't believe your eye. That's not. I just gave you Biden.
So who's
Did you
one
not
person
listen?
that said that?
Did you not listen to what I said about Biden? He literally said his supporters are garbage. And then they went back and tried to revise history and said, no, he said Trump's rhetoric was garbage.
Who's one person on the left that said, don't trust your lying eyes? You just made that up. Who's one person on the left that actually said, not what you think that's what they meant?
He released an official statement saying, I said his rhetoric was garbage, not his supporters. The statement he said was his supporters are garbage, and then the media printed that statement unquestioningly. That is an example of don't believe your lying eyes.
Wait, now you're giving interpretation. Initially, your statement was the media is telling you directly that don't trust your lying eyes. So that's not actually something the media is saying.
You literally just talk and think if you just talk over somebody and you literally don't listen. I just gave you a perfect clear-cut example of it. I have to do an interview, so how many more do we have? I have like 3 minutes.
You gave me an example.
We do have only a
political. You don't run the show, buddy.
All right.
You don't run the show.
1 second there, Alex.
I'm gonna stop if you want me to, James, but this dude's dodging so hard.
It's okay. I am sorry. So we do have a couple questions left. I'm going to say a couple. What we got? 3 or 4 left. So, Josh, if you do need to jump out, it's not a huge deal. I know Alex has held the fort once or twice. Yeah, he's. Oh, I can't think of what's the name of that the Greek guy that holds up the universe? Oh, I couldn't remember it. I'm sorry.
Adonis? Is that? I don't know.
I can't remember. I'm sorry. My
Atlas.
wife is Atlas. There we go. I was gonna say he can be the Atlas of our situation here. He can hold us up. Thank you so much. You guys helping me out. I was gonna say my wife is gonna kick my butt in the morning when I tell her I did not remember that. All right. So Chase Hatchett says, Trumpists, can y'all provide one example with an actual source of a child going to school and having a sex change operation without parental consent?
At school, no one would claim that. That is they're just conflating issues. We're saying in prison, there's John Jacobson Jr., who threw a retired couple off of a yacht. He goes by the name of Skylar DeLeon. He then killed someone in Mexico. He's a triple convicted male murderer who, because of Kamala Harris's policies as Attorney General, she paved the way so that he could get the gender transition.
It's not happening in schools.
Donald Trump said it.
It's happening in schools.
Donald Trump said it. Donald Trump said the kids are going to school and getting sex changes and coming home and
there are teachers that are letting kids change behind their parents' backs. And Chloe Cole was 14 when she got a mastectomy.
So Trump is wrong.
There have been rules
that if she didn't do it, that she would kill herself. So there are people doing this.
There's more
gender reassignment clinics now in America than there were 10, 20, 30 years ago, and they're growing exponentially.
If
so yeah,
Trump
it's happening more.
Have you got one citation for that there, dummy?
Google how many gender reassignment clinics are in existence.
Cite one child that has had sexual reassignment surgery.
Chloe Cole. She's a detransitioner. Google her, dude.
She's a detransitioner, and then I don't believe anything she says.
Oh, well, there you go.
There you go, dude. She was a child that got a mastectomy and took
so Chloe Nicole went to school. Chloe Cole went to school, had her transition surgery, and then went back home the same day. Like Trump said. Is that what you're saying?
Dude, you're literally retarded, bro.
No,
All right.
you're literally a moron.
All right, this is not going to be
Look,
productive if we just start slinging.
If Trump said that, he's wrong. But there is an issue in
Thank you, Bad
Maryland.
Buddhist, for the $20 super chat.
There is an issue in Maryland. Laws were enacted that said that teachers do not have to tell parents if their kids are if the kids are telling the teacher that they believe they're trans. The teachers do not have to tell the parents that. And that
child abuse is good.
Yeah,
child abuse
Here's
is
a
good.
point of agreement. We'll have one point of agreement. I actually agree with the position that people under 18 should not have anything to do with any kind of transition.
There you go. But Kamala Harris doesn't think that. Kamala Harris doesn't agree with that.
Kamala Harris has proposed zero policies when it comes to transition. Here's the difference:
she has though. When she said
I don't obsess about trans issues nearly to the same degree that you guys do. It seems like
it's not. It just proves that you're a hypocrite because you guys can't debate it because you don't even agree with that policy. Yet you just
wait. Do I have to? Wait, do you agree with every single one of Trump's policies?
No, not necessarily. No.
Okay, so then how am I a hypocrite then?
Well, you're a hypocrite because you say, why do we bring up this trans issue like it's not a big deal when you know it is a big deal?
I don't think it's a big deal because the vast majority of children are not having
Alex, you think it's a big enough deal you don't want children to get these surgeries, right?
It's my default position on anything that involves.
I'm just saying. So you don't think children should get it, right?
But in terms of importance, this issue is the very bottom of my list.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just saying it is. It is an important issue, and you don't want kids getting vasectomies, but that's not the policy of the Biden and Harris campaign.
How many children?
Neither one of you guys care about the children. I happen to live in a country where lady boys are considered the
That's probably why you
highest
moved
rung
there.
of women.
Now it makes sense.
Dude. Of course
now we know why you moved there.
Dumbasses.
Big surprise. You bring up
now we know why you
problem here. There's no problem here with
America.
transsexual. Only Republicans seem to have this problem.
Sorry to Alex and Josh. I think it's only fair that we let Thomas jump in here and talk about his own local experience. We've all had a chance to jump in here.
Thank you so much, Ladyboys. Let's see how much you like Ladyboys. Please.
Hey, I have to jet. Alex, hold it down for me, baby. Love you.
Josh. Have a good one, dude.
All right, thank you so much, Josh. Everybody, if you haven't already, we got a link for you in the description. Check out Josh. Thanks for coming out to Modern Day Debate. Josh, before you jet, did you want to give a 1-minute summary for your discussion?
Thank you. Yeah, sorry, Thomas. Hey, guys, again, I think this just comes down to the direction you want to see America go in. If you want a strong leader, I think Trump is the obvious choice. If you want an empty suit, I think it's Kamala Harris. I also think that what we're doing here, a dialectic, open dialogue discussion is so important. And I feel like the values and kind of ethos that the left has embodied and the Democratic Party has embodied over the last couple decades has been to curtail this open debate, to try to censor people that have differences of opinion, to try to censor minority or opposing viewpoints. And so I think what we're doing here is so important. And I think that if you care about open dialogue and discussion like we're having today, I think that Republicans support that right more than Democrats. And I just see an increasingly draconian kind of censorship coming from the left when it comes to people just having discussions. You're either called a bigot, you're called a racist if you come up with a different viewpoint. I think it's really important that we go back to the values of America, which is freedom. And I think you only get that if you vote for Donald Trump. And
Except I think the freedom for women.
It's just closing. It's just closing. It's just closing.
What about the freedoms of the babies?
All right, Josh, thank you for coming out. That is his closing. Oh, you guys, you're chomping at that bit. But you know what?
I just wanted to ask if he was down to do a 1v1 debate. That's all I was asking.
Oh, yeah. Well, honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to that. And it would be great to get a little bit more in before all the chips fall. I mean, like I say, you guys only have a few days. There's no time to pour our stouts properly. I tried to do that proper on camera, and I messed it up. So no lessons to be learned in our live chat. First Amender, I sent you an email. Check it out. Thanks for hanging out in the live chat. And let's get back into the super chats. Thanks, Alex, for agreeing to hold down the fort, even though it's a boring debate. All right. Radical Coder, thank you for being here. Good job to the Harris side. These guys are weird, he says. Did you guys have any commentary to make about, well, some of the meta discussion around like calling people weird or other political jargon and slang that's being used in the campaign right now?
I think anybody that wants to strip women of their most hallowed rights, their right to bodily autonomy, is weird and
What about
crazy.
the rights of the baby?
And they're lying hypocrites.
What
And they're
about the rights
lying
of the baby?
hypocrites when they. What about the rights of a parasitic organism? Do you know what the
How is it
definition
if
of
it's
a
a parasite?
fetus
Hey,
is?
listen.
Why
if you're
don't
so
you
smart,
Why don't
Thomas,
you look
Thomas,
up a
if you're so
definition
smart,
of a
no, time
word
out.
since you don't
Hey,
understand
one second,
No,
one
you're
second.
so smart,
English
Thomas.
language?
Just one second, Thomas.
Since you're so smart,
I will say that would be your definition of why you would say that this is valid. But as for the topic of political jargon, I'll let you finish your thought, Alex. But let's try to focus on political jargon.
Let me finish my thought, Ryan. Damn, dude, come on.
Damn, I'm the worst. Awful.
So Thomas wants to say that that's just a fetus or a clump of cells. Well, why is it in Texas when a drunk driver hits a pregnant woman and kills her and the baby? Why is that a double homicide?
You're muted, my friend.
Yeah, you are still on the mute. Hold on a second there, Thomas. Hold your thought. Bringing you back in.
Why did the women who died the other day from sepsis and orphaning another child, why did that happen?
No, it doesn't happen that often, and
it doesn't happen that often because her blood's on your hand.
But I'm just
the
saying,
woman died 2 days ago. You can look it up on ProPublica if you
from
can
what
read.
I said. I know, but you try to answer my question. I'm saying, if it's just a clump of cells, well, why is it when a pregnant woman gets murdered in a DWI crash by a drunk driver, why does a drunk driver get charged with double?
I don't think you would
homicide?
understand difficult legal concepts, but
Well,
that's
why
because
is that?
the
Well, then
pregnancy.
explain it to me. Explain it to me.
Well, because you don't understand difficult legal
I
concepts.
do understand it. If it's so difficult, then
Oh, you do. So
explain
you
to me
can
why that's a double
understand. You can
homicide if
understand
it's
that
just
a
a clump of
woman who
cells.
is pregnant.
No, if
Okay,
it's just
so I'll explain it to you since I do
Let's
know
give Thomas
this.
the floor for a second, then you can respond.
The reason why that statute exists is number one, because of Republicans, and number two, Democrats who also voted for.
So it's bipartisan. Okay, good burn. Okay.
Yes, it was a bipartisan thing that if a woman is killed in a drunk driving crash or whatever, that her baby would also be included in one of the deaths. But that does not mean that a baby is a baby. It's a fetus. And fetus has a different definition.
So according to the
from
law,
a little
it's a
bitty
double
baby
murder,
that's
but somehow in an operating room, it's not a baby. It's not a baby in the operating room, but in a highway, it is a baby all of a sudden. So it's just magic. So 1 second, if they're Planned Parenthood,
Can
it's
you
a clump of
freeze a
cells.
baby?
But if you're driving in a car, it's a baby. Oh, real good one, real smart, Thomas.
So,
you're
if you have an entire box full of in vitro fertilized eggs in the back of a car, are those all babies too? And somebody has a crash and they get charged with
talking about IVF eggs
5,000 counts of murder.
So do you think a fetus? Do you think
does that happen? No, it doesn't happen. Because you don't know what you're talking about.
That's because those are eggs in some sort of liquid. We're talking about a.
Let me tell you something. Let me educate you further.
No, but you're
you're
so dull. You're so dull.
An egg is not a chicken. An egg is not a chicken.
All right.
Yeah,
egg is not a chicken.
Alex's
the
turn.
fact that you don't know the difference between eggs in storage and a baby being incubated inside of a woman's uterus, the fact that you don't know that those are two different things, just shows how stupid you are. So
right,
that's, that's
an egg isn't a
PWF.
chicken, and that's how stupid
you
are.
I know when I say Alex, it's sometimes confusing. Go ahead there, PWF.
I want to address the initial question. So, yes, some of the rhetoric has been weird, to say the least. For example, Trump and JD constantly spreading this idea that immigrants in Ohio, who he says are illegal immigrants, which they're not, are eating, is it Ohio, Iowa? One of those. Iowa.
Springfield, Ohio. And you don't think there's illegal immigrants? You don't think there's illegal Haitians there?
There might be a few, but the governor, the Republican governor,
it's like a 3,000. It's like a small city.
Republican governor of that state came forward and said, no, these are illegal immigrants and they're here to do the jobs and they're helping our economy.
They're illegal immigrants. That's why they've taken over apartment complexes, Tren de Alguera or whatever.
No,
that has been debunked.
That's not been debunked. That they have apartment complexes in Louisville here in Texas. That's a real thing. The cartel and Mexican gangs and South American gangs and Venezuelan gangs.
Cite your source.
Real.
Cite your source. Cite any source, liar.
Those are real.
Cite any source, liar.
There's Venezuelan
gangs. Cite any source you want, because you're a liar.
I'm not. You said that they didn't even build a dock. You don't know the difference between an egg being
No
held
one
in
did
storage and
build
a
a dock.
baby inside of a
Holy fucking
uterus.
shit, you're autistic.
You're the liar. You're the liar.
I
But
got a
let's just go
perfect
on.
score on my
Let's just
AP
move
genetics
on.
course.
Let's
I
just
think I
move.
know
Let's
way
just
I know
agree
more
to
more
about
about
disagree and
science
move
than you
on.
do,
Because
I'd
Doug.
like
this
to
is
go back
not.
to answering the
All right, a
This
lot
is
of voices
not,
going on.
I'd
Over
like
to
to-
This
PWF.
is a pointless debate. You guys are both retards, so it's not even.
Okay,
All right,
I'd like to
last
go back to
point.
answer the question. Yeah, I think it's weird that Trump and JD lie about that and say that they're eating the birds, and they continue telling this lie to the detriment of that community. But I think this stuff, that some of the stuff that Trump says crosses over from weird to just scary, especially when he talks about fighting the enemy from within. And he specifically says using the military or the National Guard to fight the enemy within. When asked to clarify, he said, I'm not talking about illegal immigrants. I'm talking about like liberals and people who disagree with me.
He's talking about unelected bureaucrats that are part of the deep state. You know,
He's talking about people who disagree with him.
No, he's talking about the deep state.
Next question coming in.
Where does the
Prodigy.
deep state exist? Where do they meet?
The
Has
CIA,
anybody found that
FBI.
yet?
You don't think that you just admitted there's classified
No.
levels of information, so you don't think that there's secret groups that meet that we don't know about, Thomas?
Can you name one secret
The
group that has
CIA,
existed for any amount of time?
The
that-
CIA. Do you think the
Name
CIA?
any government
Thomas,
secret.
you're so smart. Do you think the CIA ever meets in private and discusses stuff in private that we're never going to be privy to?
Some things, yes.
Yeah, okay. There you go, retard. At least you admit one freaking thing. Now let's move to the next question.
All right.
We want to get off real bad, but yeah, we can move on.
I just don't want to be here anymore because you suck at this.
All right, if
This
you
is
don't want to be
not-
here, if you don't want to be
feel
here.
free.
He just won't even admit facts.
You can run away like a typical
Okay,
coward.
Woo,
put up
I'm a
10,000.
coward. I'm the one coming here wasting my time with you.
All right, you guys are all on mute. I know you feel that way, and before
I'm not a coward. I'm just saying it's bored. You guys are two dumb jabronis. I mean,
let's carry on
this
then,
is
Alex.
over.
Don't
Let's
worry
get this
about
thing
it.
over with.
Let's not meta discuss. We're just gonna carry into that next question. We don't have a whole lot left to go. So, Prodigy of Epistemology said, I said Louisville. I think I said Louisville. That's just the Canadian coming out of me. I'm so sorry about that. Prodigy of Epistemology followed up and said, Ryan, I said Louisville. Louisville? I don't know. You guys can correct me on the panel. I just wanted to make that clear. By the way, Josh is a Chad. So I don't know if you meant that in a good way or a bad way. So we'll let that up to the YouTubes to decide. Chase Hatchett says, so no sources. Cool. This one's over to you, Alex Stein. So he had said about, can you provide one example of an actual source of a child going to school and having a sex change operation without parental consent?
They don't do surgery at schools, guys. They do surgeries at gender reassignment clinics, and the amount of gender reassignment clinics that are here in America compared to 10 years ago, even 20 years ago, 30 years ago, has exponentially increased. Now, you can fact check me on that one, fellas.
So is autism.
Yeah, but that's like vaccines and babies, men having.
Oh,
babies,
yeah,
all that.
vaccines.
So-
Autism causes
How many
vaccine.
people under the age of 18 in the last 4 years do you think got bottom gender reassignment surgery?
What am I supposed to know exactly how many people got? Just because you just Googled it? I know, but you're trying to act like you're so smart because you're sitting there Googling. I don't know, but if it's over 0, it's too many.
What's the last book you read?
Catcher in the Rye, dude.
Yeah, I read that when I was in like 7th grade.
Okay, so
Where in
to be
Belarus,
fair, just
do
to
they have an English version in Belarus that you
I
can
was in
understand?
America getting much better grades than you.
try
Yeah,
and
right.
answer the
Do you
question.
have a college degree? Where'd you go to college?
I went to Boston University.
Yeah, right. You didn't get with AOC. Did you get a degree?
What? Yeah, of course I have a marketing.
I don't believe that. But I got a degree.
So to try to answer
I'm much
the
smarter
super
than you.
chats.
I just
So I
guess
want to try to
Boston's just
answer
gone
the question
downhill.
of the super
It's
chatter.
not like you were at Harvard or something.
One
a
second
real
there,
school in that
Alex.
city. My school was the best school in the city. You can't even go to the best school in your own city. So
All right, one second there,
sad.
Alex. Like I said, I'm trying not to put you guys on mute during the super chats. So to be
no, because
fair,
I went in my city, in Baton Rouge, LSU was the best school. In your city, you went to like the 4th best school. So you're an idiot.
do
What
you
city-
see what I have to deal with? Oh my goodness, guys, just chill for 1 second, all right? So we, like I said, Alex wants to, I should say, Alex Stein wants to move on, but I do want to, I wanted to press just because, I know this was in reference to our conversation before, and you'd said that this was brought up by Trump specifically, because that is the discussion we're having tonight. It is a Harris or Trump debate. So, yeah, I don't know if we want to continue with that in that vein. Maybe we should just move on. Yeah, I think our speakers, nobody's chomping. So Chase Hatchett says, last question. If Alex wants to keep calling people retards, he can come over here to Awaco, Texas, and say to my face and see how good it works out for
Oh
him.
my gosh. Somebody so scared. That guy, you're a retard, whoever typed that.
Alex, you can put up $10,000 and I'll put up
Was
ten
that
thousand
towards me or
dollars
was
and
You
that
we
don't
can
towards
go
have
over
Stein?
to
$10,000, Thomas. You're in
and we
Taiwan with
can go
Lady
over to
Boys.
Mensa's website and see who
You
take
don't
their
have
IQ challenge and see who gets the
$10,000.
higher
All
score.
right.
You don't have
Yeah, dude, we'll
$10,000 in
put
your
it
bank
in.
account.
We'll put it in
You
this
spend it
guy
all
right
on
here
Lady
in our
Boys. You spend it
host
all on Lady
PayPal account.
Boys. You spend it all
You
on
want
Lady
that?
Boys.
All right,
You
hold on,
want
guys.
that?
All right, we're going to have to do muted
can raise.
closings. I think that's the best way to do it. We're not going to get too much out of this super chat, but I don't appreciate any name calling myself. I try to engage in all polite discussion until I say, go for yourself. All right, so we're going to hand it over to a PWF. You have the closing on the floor for 1 minute, and then we're going to give it to Thomas, and then Alex, you'll have the last word. So, PWF, I'll give you 1 minute.
Yeah, sure. This was a pretty typical Trump versus, I guess, whatever the rest of the world debate. We didn't really talk about policy at all. I brought up seven of Kamala's policies during my opening statement. I brought up Trump's policies that didn't work out well. None of that was ever responded to. They typically prefer to talk about their vibes, like, and then when you actually push for statistics, they just say, "I don't believe in statistics." So they would rather go off their personal feelings than like official government statistics. So it's like, what can you do with a person who thinks like that? They never have any details. They don't know shit. And their chief focus seems to be trans. Like they're just obsessed with what happens to trans women. That's like the big argument. Stein talked a lot about people's sex lives and how Trump is having sex and blah, blah, blah. And again, there's no substance there. There's no details. They cannot answer a question with a single statistic. It's always just these general talking points. And that's because for a lot of people, Trump, like voting for Trump is just vibes. They just like Trump's vibes more than they like Kamala's vibes, and that's enough for them. They don't give a shit about policy. They don't actually give a shit about facts, and yeah, that's kind of the world we live in.
I'm totally into the dog's vibes, honestly. Look at your dog back there. That
My
is
dog is the best.
one relaxed pup. All right, over to you, Thomas. Let's give you 1 minute on the floor. Let everybody know where they can find you and your thoughts on the discussion tonight.
When I was very young and stupid, I used to be a Republican, and then I started hanging around them and learning things and getting an education. And the one thing that I always learned about them is that they never ever have any facts. They lie about everything, and it's only gotten worse since Trump has. They've gotten to the point where they're banning books. They're trying to ban trans people and come up with all this other nonsense and bullshit about everything. While in China right now, an eighth grader graduates knowing calculus. We have a lot of problems in the United States, and Republicans are the solution to none of them. This $31 trillion debt or $33 trillion debt, all of it is because of Republicans, 100%, because they keep trying this art left or supply side economics bullshit that has 50 years of history, 40 years of history of not working. And they're never going to stop being stupid their entire life, because it's a lot easier to understand republicanism because you can be stupid. And it takes intelligence to learn complex things like calculus, like the next speaker doesn't understand at all.
All right, well, thank you, Thomas. I didn't mean to cut you off. You had 10 seconds there. Oh, Thomas has jumped out. Yeah, I'm not sure if that was intentional, but
Of course, he quit. Rage quit. Listen,
okay, you got the last minute there, Alex.
These two guys, Alex over here is saying that we didn't answer any questions about policy yet. I didn't hear one good thing Kamala Harris did as vice president for the last 4 years. I think you guys are just as delusional as you think that I am. So we look at each other and we probably see the same person, sadly. And when it comes to the direction in which our country is going, it will be a much better country under Donald Trump than it would be under Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris slept her way to the top. She is untalented. She's going to be a disaster on the world's biggest stage. You know that. I know that. We have a president that is basically like Weekend at Bernie's, is just a living corpse. And so we don't have a real leader right now. we have a deep state that is running this country. And this is the problem with these debaters, these interlocutors is the proper word, I guess you'd say, is that they suffer from serious cognitive dissonance. Because right here, Alex would admit that the government does lie to us, that the government has classified levels of information, and the government has no law, no requirement to tell us the truth about anything. So he knows that the government lies, yet when the government gives him
10
some
seconds.
stat, he believes it wholeheartedly. They are suffering from cognitive dissonance. Trump is the only answer to save this country. And you know what? Believe it or not, I don't even know if Trump can save this country. So, that's why we're going to be infected with a bunch of, immigrants like this coming over here and trying to make it easier for future illegal immigrants like his family.
And what are you gonna do then, Alex?
Does
Coming
it
to
trigger
Canada?
you?
I'm
Does
just
this
kidding.
immigrant is significantly more successful than you? Does that trigger you?
I was just
Yeah,
joking.
what? That you're significantly more successful than me?
Yeah, by pretty much every metric. Does that trigger you?
How do you figure that?
Your career is over. You're banned from pretty much every platform. You're best known for literally stalking
What do
Destiny.
you, what do you mean? What platform am I banned from?
What do you mean? What platforms are you allowed on?
I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram.
Yeah, are you on Twitch?
I don't use Twitch.
Okay, so your account is monetized on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay.
As
Okay,
interesting as you
And I
guys
work for
having
the
a
Blaze. I mean,
discussion,
I have a job. Do you have a job?
Yeah.
as
doing
yeah,
great.
as interesting as you guys
No,
talking
like you
about
work at
your
an office. You like
hold
have
on, hold on. You guys can let's just hang out in 2 seconds, just 2 seconds. Let's
No,
close
no,
out the
real
show.
quick, because he thinks he's better than me. Where do you
You
work
want the
at?
audience to see it? All right, fine, audience.
Do
Let's
you-
just
no, I'm
have the
saying,
juice.
are you employed somewhere?
I do what I do full time. And I make
So you just beg for super chats, so you're a professional
no,
e-beggar?
I don't actually ever beg for super chats.
Well, I work for a media company in Dallas, so yeah, I mean, I would say that I'm doing exponentially better than you, considering I have an employer and you're not even employed.
Well, it doesn't seem like it if you spend your time like harassing the fuck out of Destiny. Like that's what I'm saying. Like
I
maybe
see Destiny a public event, so I can go make fun of Destiny. I get in his face. I do that to politicians. I do it to Dan Crenshaw, AOC. I go and I confront a lot of people. I confront politicians all the time. Yeah, I have
All
plenty of time.
you
Yeah.
all are
And
done.
I have a job. You don't even
Y'all are done. I'm so sorry. Let's just chat in the after. If
Say,
you
if
guys
you're
want to
doing
chat,
better than me,
no,
do you-
Alex. Let me close the show. Honestly, man.
But
Just
do you think that
Alex,
you have a bigger social media following
don't
than me?
make
Like,
me boot you out. I don't. We're not gonna do social media following.
well, no, he says he's every
arguments.
metric. He
We're
likes
still
metrics.
live
So
though, Alex. I mean, like, let
I
me
know
just
I'm lying
close
because
it.
he said in every metric that he's bigger than me. I don't think that's the case. I think you're
know.
lying.
And
So
the
I can win
audience-
this debate that I know that I have a larger following, that I actually work for a company that actually gives me
Gonna
a
have to do it.
paycheck,
Gonna
and
have
I
to
can
do a new
travel around the
poll.
country.
Should
You
we
know all
kick 'em?
about me, and I've never heard about you. Nobody knows who you are. So I would say by every metric that I'm bigger than you.
you want me to respond to that or you want to
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it. Let's man off.
No,
We're
what's
gonna
your
man
metric?
off
No,
right
but
now.
What metric do you think that you're so much larger than me?
All right, hold on, guys. I'm gonna
Let's
close
start
out the
with
show.
intelligence.
Hold
How
on,
do
please.
Intelligence. That's the
Please, to the
metric
two
you
of
use.
you. I don't mind hanging out with you guys for a few seconds after the show. Don't put yourself off mute. Come on. Let me close out the debate because I don't think our audience, maybe they are interested in this, but I doubt it. So just for the sake of the fun of it, we're going to take this into the back scene. I'm so sorry, guys. You have to pay for this juicy content. Maybe Alex is streaming and you can see it over there. Look at that, Alex. That's almost like I'm trying to help you out.
That is nice.
That's
That is
crazy. That's crazy. Modern day debate never does that. It was underhanded, but I do want to let people know that we are still live somewhere. So I'm going to close out our show. Thanks for coming out to Modern Day Debate. Thank you to our speakers for being so lively. I don't think it's over quite yet, and I'm not going to kick you guys right out because I think you guys still want to talk. So yeah, we'll still be out there somewhere on the internets. But to our Modern Day Debate audience, cheers, everybody. Thanks for hanging out.
Well, and I try to be humble. I'm
mixed with self-oppression. What am I to do but tear away when I'm boiling at the top? Try to find a way to fight the fire, smart derived from the minds of liars. Call the shots as you bow your heads, and the march never stops. The stars could be free, but this insanity bends you right by the knee. Running in circles now for something that can't be found. On a breath as you hit the wall, the rain starts to fall. You can run away, sing a tune that's true. I'll be beside you. Who's the one that holds you down? Push through there in your way, anything to make you stay. Cut the strings before your life starts to decay. From tears of blood, regrets of laughter, turn around as your heart beat faster. Your hollow shape as the faith begins to drop. Shelter can find your thoughts of suicide. It's hanging down by the frail. Running in circles now for something that can't be found, and there's no time for today. You prayed away that the world would be untrue. I will rise against you. Until they're gone, nothing can matter at all. Insanity bends you right by the nail. Running in circles now for something that can't be found. Out of breath, smash the wall. The water consumed all. You prayed away that the world would be untrue as it rose against you. When you're gone, nothing can matter at all. Did you think it would always be for free? Now sit back, watch it burn, burn, burn.